By the way, hi everyone. Welcome back to my live stream. So yeah, we're going to watch FNC's Day 2. And yeah, there's like past few, like I should past few 24 hours, like there's happening so much things. Like yeah, I'll explain that later. Anyway, let's go to the live stream. It should be quick. I'm already 3 minutes late, so yeah, wait a second. Where's the Google? Okay, guys. Okay. That's my here. Yeah. Guys. Give me like few seconds, okay? I need to do something.
Acorn and Bolt's liking to rotate early, establish themselves so they can get Storm Surge tags, whereas Cold and Rapid are definitely in-game players. Destroying that mid and low ground Vivid is what they are known for, but Acorn and Bolt definitely have a different play style.
Yeah, we can see it right there. First and foremost, zone 1 through 7, Acorn and Bolts have more damage dealt than in the moving zones of the game. Like, that's crazy. Usually, you know, you're box to box with people, you're doing all that shotgun damage, but what kicks it off is Acorn and Bolts are landing all the way on the north side of the map. They have access to a launch pad. They're, of course, going to combine the effects of a mist and an overdrive grenade to make sure that they can fly as high as they possibly can. What this allows them to do is, even though they're landing all the way on the north side of the map, they can kind of fly all the way across the map and still secure themselves a very good position inside of the zone. What this kind of allows them to do is base up, just deal all the damage that they need to do. Like we saw zones 1 through 7, it's an incredible amount of damage that they are able to do. But because they're so safe, because they're able to land in those high priority spots, they don't really take any damage. And with the way that the new Storm Surge works, they're able to consistently make it to every single one of these end games, and that's why they're towards the top of the leaderboard right now.
It's so crazy. We gotta look on the other side then, right? We talk about Acorn Bolts. Let's talk about Cold and Rapid. I think it's insane that we are coming in a single points difference. But for these guys, they're landing middle of the map, right? So talk to me about their strategy. What has led to them being so successful?
I mean, it's Cold, right? I think you can just put that name right there and then everyone can see the pathway to success. When he is locked in, he really locks in. And Cold and Rapid have really shown themselves of kind of being able to just handle this mid ground. They have the center of the map, which allows them to kind of have these easy rotations, Vivid.
Oh, guys, I'm back.
Yeah, it's gonna be
give me
a similar
second.
strategy to what Acorn and Bolts are doing. A little bit
I was
different,
talking
right?
with my
Because they're not
girlfriend
gonna be
for a second,
utilizing
like,
the
you know.
launch pad, but
Yeah,
because they do land center of the map, they're usually pretty close to all of the zones, right? They can kind of just walk over, base up, and again, from there on out, it's pretty much just the same thing. You've got this tall tower, you don't really take damage while you're in it, but you're in one of these high priority spots where a lot of teams are going to be rotating by, so you can get all of the damage dealt that you need to. And Rapid and Cold, they're focused on one thing, and that's going to be getting Cold to the end game. Finished day number 1 with the most eliminations. Guy was absolutely popping off. If it wasn't for that game 6 little fumble between them and Veno and Curve, man, I think they would have a big lead right now.
Oh man, it's a time for redemption, right? Day 2 will bring new things. A lot of players have taken time to just VOD review, take a step back, refresh themselves. And now we're thinking, hey, 6 brand new games. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Now, before we continue the conversation, why don't we go meet up with our casters? And Jacob P. Arts, MDF, say hello.
Hello,
Well,
British.
today is going to be a great day for sure, Monster. We crowned an FNC as champion, but as well as some of our duos are playing, I need to point out the individual factors that are going down in some of these games, these solo impact points that some of these guys are clutching up. We talk about the 1-point differential in first place. Well, look at that man on top of the list, Bolts. 88 solo impact points. You also got Curve and Peterbot, who are also in the top 10. Osin and Viv, who are also neck and neck on that leaderboard.
That's kind of impressive, not not gonna lie.
When things don't
They
go your way,
somehow
you
get
gotta
into
throw the
top
plans out the window. How
top
will these solos perform?
list, right?
Yeah, what's incredible about this is Bolts is the only one of all those players we showed there that is currently obviously in first place coming into day 2. And what's more interesting is this is again a notorious duo that when Acorn comes back on day 2 style finals formats, he's usually better than we've ever seen him before. So he's still doing what he normally does. He had a relatively underperforming day 1, but Bolts is just going crazy, really putting the team on his back, really playing exceptional Fortnite, and the highlights speak for itself there, Jacob.
Yeah, and that was only day 1 action so far. Peterbot kind of at the bottom of that top 5 list, 50 points. And he's the one that kind of made those exciting clutches popular in the past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Will that change? I don't know. We still got 6 games to find out. Zeke, Kelly, and Vivid, what do you guys think?
Jacob, you know, I love that you bring up these solo impact points, right? We think about if we you know, cast our minds back to yesterday, game 6. For a moment, I thought, is this a solos competition? Because it's just every high-profile duo are all solos, right? And they come in to game number 6, and they put on such a show. But we'll have to see, right? Like I said right before, with a brand new day, anything can happen, and we're excited to see what these players have prepared for us. Because again, top 13, and we're also playing for an Axe of Champions. Now, as we continue this conversation, why don't we talk about some of the players we are excited to see? Visual and Braids immediately comes to mind. 4th place currently with 311 points. Talk to me about these guys in the lens of like, what do you think they prepared coming in for day number 2?
I mean, for
Wait a second,
Visuals
guys.
and Braids, I think they're just gonna, this is such a silly thing to say, but I think they're just playing standard Fortnite to the best. Bruce Lee once said, I don't fear the man that's done 1,000 kicks one time. I fear the man that's done one kick 1,000 times. And I feel like Visuals and Braids plays the same game over and over and over again. They kind of have a little bit of a passive early game, but they make sure to get a few tags. They go into the end game with just a little bit above storm damage, but they make sure to always enter these good, smart engagements, and then they disengage when they need to, and then they have a ton of heals because they didn't enter these early and mid engagements, so that they're able to survive and make it all the way to the end. And although they're not able to grab a ton of eliminations, they're still able to get those placement points. But this right here is the number that I wanted to talk about, that they have played 10 consecutive FNCS finals together, more than any other team that we have in our region. And I would be hard pressed to find any other duo in the world. However, Vivid, fun fact, the only other duo
Sorry,
that has been on an FNCS
I don't know.
finals together. for
Someone told
10
me that
FNCS finals, is
YouTube is not working. I mean, is that correct?
I was really
Is it
wondering what
YouTube
team
not
it
working?
could have maybe been. We have been here for a long time. Shout out to my duo partner here, Kelly, and of course Zeke, always keeping us on our toes. Man, I don't even know what I was gonna say after that one. Visual and Braids, 4th place on the leaderboard right now, 28 points behind 1st place. And I gotta tell you, Kelly, I'm happy that you kind of broke it down, because we talked about all the chaos kind of coming into this season with all the new duos.
Yeah,
The fact that these guys have stuck together and it's working right now, really happy to kind of see how that's panning out. And I gotta tell you, I'm looking at their match history over here, and their last game yesterday was a 46th place with 0 eliminations. They got 0 points that game. If they had a good game like they did in all of the other games, they'd be in 1st place right now.
Fortnite fam, I hope you see that what me and Vivid see all the time again on these the broadcasts is that Kelly is a menace, okay? Why don't we talk about one last duo? It's Javi and Aminished. You know, they're currently in 5th place, right? 270
Can you guys hear me
points,
clearly
but
or not?
again, what can we expect from these guys, right? A brand new day, new strategy, time to VOD review. What are we thinking?
Well, you say the word new, and that immediately makes me think of how this team formed, and it's such a beautiful story to be written in conjunction with Visuals and Braids, because Aminished is the 3rd of that trio that we saw them compete all last year together, and we know that Javi was originally playing with Reed.
Yeah, not gonna lie, he's kind of good, huh? He's really good.
Literally the week that Major 1 was starting. So to see Javi and Aminished form together and be this new duo with that juxtaposition of Visuals and Braids being this long-lasting duo, and to see them still doing well, playing to what their advantage is, and once again, that is just making sure that they are making it to the end game. And I know that sounds silly, Vivid, but when it comes to the FNCS, sometimes that's the most important thing.
Doesn't sound silly at
Yeah.
all. Consistency is key when it comes down to Fortnite. And right now, these guys, they have an average time alive of 20 plus minutes. So they're kind of consistently making it to those later stages of the game. A couple of fumbles I did see when I was kind of looking at some of our top teams and how many times they've been struck by Storm Surge. Unfortunately for Javi and Aminish, they were kind of up there. I think they each took like 20, around like 20 each, where some of our other top teams, I saw Visuals and Braids 0 times for both of those guys. Acorn and Bolts 0 times. So Javi and Aminish, just a couple of fumbles when
I don't know
concerns
about
Storm
that.
Surge, but if they could fix that, man, they could make a run for that top 3, top 2. They could win it too.
Yeah.
Another duo we actually didn't talk about is currently in 3rd place. Agers and Ritual, 331 points. Kelly, that's only 8 points behind Acorn and Bolts. I mean, come on. We're going to make this happen, right?
Yeah, it's Ages and Rituals. They already got Victory Royale. They already got a 2nd place. There's a few games where they're making it to the very end and they're just not being able to stick together and survive to the very final moments. I'm talking about that 21st and 17th place game that we saw from yesterday.
Wait.
But Agers and Rituals are definitely within contention. It's crazy. Looking at this leaderboard, literally any of our top 8 could make some crazy plays today, Vivid, and jump into that 1st place spot.
I'm happy that you mentioned top 8. What about top 7? I see Clicks and Higgs sitting in 7th place right now. They started yesterday so hot. It looked like they were going to run away with the competition. Their high ground, it was so clean. I want to see them return to form today, have a good 6 games, and see where they end up.
Good, Viv. Will the rivalry continue, right? They're right behind Peterbot and Pollo, right? Only 6 points behind them. So there's just so much that could happen today. 6 games to determine it all. Fortnite fan, we hope you are as excited as we
Guys, wait.
Be up to N-Pen to try to push in, but he gets taken down as well. Creon really clutching up.
Yeah, this has just gone back and forth. You know, each team
Oh fuck,
having
it's
their
hard, bro.
individual moments essentially, but Creon and Dragon in the end are gonna win, and they go right into
Holy.
Electro, and then he exposed himself. And no, you know they're gonna push here, especially after seeing the shield crack. There's no reason not to. And not only that, don't forget, Electro was playing really good yesterday. I mean, they even got the best of Veno and Curve at some point. So this is not a team that you could just
Oh
push
my.
over.
Yeah, it's time to talk about adjustments from day 1 to day 2. Electro and Ope were one of those teams. They landed up here, they landed at Battlewood, they came back up here. So already you can see the feeling to start their day. We're going to do better off towards the top. Let these 2 teams fight it out, and let's try to crash as a 3rd party and clean it up. Paper and Rezi, a few struggles yesterday. Paper going down to a little bit of fall damage in the off-spawn fights. But one thing I've learned about Paper over the last 2 years is he's someone I feel like you could never count out. No matter how bleak it looks, he's somebody that usually ends up inside of the bubble.
Yeah, he finds his way, man. When there's a will, there's definitely a way, and Paper is a vet that's been around the block for quite some time. Now, other teams that I want to, see a little bit more from today is obviously Veno's team in the end game. We saw how much of an explosive early game they had, finding all those extra eliminations, rotating into teams like these that are lurking on the outskirts. Jumping in with the early team fight right now is the first for Neo. Noisy have zipped down right now. Void just playing roll around here, trying to stay in the game right now. They might have given him a little too much space to work with here.
Being a 1v1 is a very interesting position. You really don't want to let him get that res off, but it's kind of hard. You almost leave yourself open to getting tagged up once you play a little bit too aggressive. 3rd parties are all around on this side. EO is going to be able to clean up that first knock, the elimination. Cypher quickly goes in, gets the materials. That could be the difference maker in him surviving and going down to Neo. He's looking to press in this fight.
Definitely like what I'm seeing right now, but at the end of the day, Neo gets a little opportunity to back off, and it's good for him to do that. You know, they understand the general area dynamic is that there
Okay,
are
I'm
other
back.
duos here as well, right? This is no surprise to them, at least, obviously, given yesterday they had all types of third parties show up. Tyler and Chance on the other side seem to be doing things a little differently here.
From Battlewood, they know that team is towards the south.
Oh.
That's going to be Slips and Toronto. They're lurking up on one. Just
Oh my
a little
God.
cheeky shot, not much build confidence. But they realize they have the numbers advantage. They're trying to take it while they can and instantly get that first knock onto Slips without even taking
Ooh.
too much damage, Monster. That's one thing we always point out in moments like this. It's great to get the elimination, but how much damage did you take back because of Surge? Threats, Veer winning their off-spawn fight as well, but you got to be careful. Veer was down to a sliver of HP.
Yeah, talking about that damage exchange, that's not the kind of position you want to be in when you're finishing it up. A lot of it obviously getting gifted right back to the opponents. Such a different dynamic, the way Surge plays out. Chance and Tyler doing a good job right here, though. Pushing down Toronto. Toronto missing those important shots that are at least going to buy him a little bit of room. Gets one counter fire off, but in the end, Tyler, Chance find themselves with a clean elimination here. And Jacob, a lot of players are now officially eliminated this game. We're down to just 76 or so. You see even Peterbot there, recognizing that they have to play for a big game right now. You know, Peterbot's someone that yesterday towards the tail end, I'd say the last 2 or 3 games, seemed to be playing really aggressive in the early end.
Yeah, I think you kind of realize, especially with a lot of these teams, Clicks and Eggs, Peterbot, Poyo, and you even saw Acorn and Bolts in some instances where they were either on the line of Storm Surge barely ahead or in some instances below that actual damage threshold. So sometimes you're going to have to think differently and try to pull out one of their tricks. We know Peterbot can get aggressive and flip that switch in a moment's notice. And I think a lot of players are feeling that same way, whether they're contested or not. I think Kelly was one of the ones that spoke about a point differential in eliminations from a 1-point format, a 3-point format. This is 4 points per elimination. We broke it down yesterday. The very last major that we had in NA Central was decided by 3 points. That's 1 elimination. Honestly, that's 2 placings difference to winning the actual FNCS.
Yeah, and we saw like there
Push
was a
another
moment
team,
yesterday when Clicks was
another
going for that
person.
victory royale that they knew, and he knew he had to risk it all, and he was willing to go into the storm just to try to secure those extra eliminations. He knows better than anyone how close things can get towards the end. You want to put it all on the table for G Monster and Magma, though. You can see there they have officially been exposed here.
No. Ah, shit.
Kind of breaks all the builds, gets you a little bit of shields, but doesn't really help. You're
Oh
already full
my
shields.
God.
He's trying to go ahead and move in, help
That
out
shot.
Magma, but he takes a big shot straight to the face. Neko's going to attack from the other side. 20's there, still trying to
That's
put
a
pressure.
fucking
playing a little
crazy
more
shot,
careful,
huh? Not gonna
doesn't have
lie.
Shields, can easily get 1 shot here. Instead of using it, he's just trying to put down pressure with Neko. But now that Magma and G Money have healed up, it might be a wise
Ooh.
decision to finally pop those heals. Eventually, that wave will burst through this area and break all the build spot if you're ready for it. 20 with a cheeky angle, landing some good shots onto G-Money yet again. This is such a claustrophobic fight here with 20 and Neko still having a huge advantage.
Great angles, however, they've already gone through 2 of their Flowberry miss, so big investment so far. This has to come to a screeching halt here soon, or it's not going to be looking good for anyone involved in this fight right now. G-Money jumps back over, gets some of those extra heals, and I think they're trying to find an exit strategy.
Yeah, it's not every day you see fights going down underneath in these tunnels where there's kind of the 2 ways in and out that you kind of port through, then usually 1 exit. So we'll see if that fight does continue or either teams do try to disengage out. Peterbot Poyo this time around. I know you talked about that 1 elimination, but it seems like teams are getting more and more comfortable rotating in towards Squibbly Shores. Maybe you have to account for yesterday, one of the big focal points of their strategy was building that massive surge tower just outside towards the gas station. Teams are maybe saying, hey, we can go in, sneak some, maybe try to get out. But a different change of pace for Peterbot and Poyo. They're actually going in, looting up the entire POI. So for CDZ and Raven, this might be a chance for them to lurk or get caught off guard.
Yeah, definitely. Or you can think about how aggressive they were playing. They were actually leaving their POI to try to fight other teams. So for CDZ and Raven, maybe some of their strategy revealed to them, like, we can kind of come around. They might not even be here. But clearly not the case here in game 1. Virtual Agers can't quite catch the lurk onto Visual Embrace. That would have been a massive elimination right there. One that would have surely shaken up the leaderboards. given that both teams are neck and neck right now. Visual and Braids get lucky enough here and don't let their guard down.
Yeah, this is the blessing and the curse for Visual and Braids, though, is because in the last game of the day yesterday, they went down to a team lurking on this exact spot. Visual and Braids, for the most part, since they land just outside of Dark Dominion on this split drop, and there's mountains, and then on top of that, Monster at center zone, how much better can it get? They usually stay here for the first 4 to 5 zones, depending on where it pulls, and consistently gets damaged, because no matter where the zone goes, north, south, east, or west, the chances are very, very high. Teams will have to rotate around Visual and Braids in order to get inside of the zone. So just make it a huge focal point of their strategy. So if you guys VOD reviewed yesterday, coming in today, you can kind of see that in terms of Visual Braids. Maybe you can try to plan around it. The Acorn and Bolts, with Vivid breaking down their rotation from the backside of their POI, that long launch pad that they mix with the utility, and another instance of that as they quickly get to zone.
One of two teams that had a near perfect day for the most part. Not really dropping off rounds, but talking about teams falling short right now. You have Reap falling here. Off from a team in the distance. Muzzin Sphinx recognized the danger immediately after the Flowberry miss comes down. And in they
nice
go
Maz.
to get the finish up right there.
අතර උඩ තියෙන ටීම් එක පල්ලෙහාවද බෝල්සන් අකෝන්ග හෙදෙන්නව හරි අර සර්ච් ෂවර් එක පැත්තට හැබැයි
Puts down some good pressure onto Raven there.
මැච් එක හැමෝම පුෂ් කරනවා මාර දෙයට.
Just a solo here on the other side of the wall. That is the question here. I think Cooper knows that he's in big danger here, so off he goes.
And it's just continuously getting worse.
Oh, nah.
Rotating into Peterbot and Boyo, and they're one team for certain. If they know you're a solo, especially
He's
isolated
cool.
like this, they're gonna go. They see Cooper trying to rotate in. Big damage coming out from the both of them. Cooper backed up against the wall. They continuously try to spray it in. Just one of those shots needs to breathe through the builds in order to connect, in order to get that elimination. But Cooper is swiftly moving in and outside of these builds. Drop the bids. Is able to get minimal amount of shield. At least is able to help him survive his onslaught, at least for an extra couple of seconds here. But Peterbot and Poyo continuously on the look. Again, they know this player, Cooper,
my
is a solo, so
God.
they're not going to stop until they secure
Bro,
that elimination.
he-
4 more points for Peterbot and Poyo in a game that's looking very, very accelerated.
Wow.
Gifted that time around as well, just landing right on them as they were trying to finalize their metal reserves for the mid game here. Meanwhile, look at this, Veno in curve. No elims just yet. This is definitely a huge surprise to us as we've seen them be overly consistent when it comes to elims in the early game. What is Veno gonna do? Is he gonna chop this down? Like, I'm curious at this point.
Yeah, he
Much
trying to
easier
chop.
chop than some of the metal and
It's just
brick
wood.
bases that we're seeing. He's going for it. Doesn't look like a Vive or King got the signal
Oh,
yet. At
here
the
they
tail
come.
end, they're dropping
This
down.
is his.
This actually Veno. Yeah, this was actually Veno's base, so maybe they had an inkling he was going to lurk on over. Not sure if they got the audios or not, but able to survive a potential disaster there as Veno just scurries away, reunites back with Curve, who already has his base set up at one of the main buildings north side of the Battlewood Boulevard. But you see where the zone is actually pulling, so you see why Veno and Curve are taking a different mountain or a different approach to this game than usually every other.
Yeah, definitely interesting there. Almost edited the whole base down. Just had to break an extra piece of wood there. Ends up working out though in the end. Brett's Beer on the other side. There's 2 elims here. Have them set up, and it's a bit of a different end game for us, right? We have Riptides in the zone right now. See how this ends up playing out. All the zones that came this way, pretty much Clicks and Higgs performed absurdly well. See if they can continue to pick up the
Oh,
pace
Cold
here
and
propel
Rapid.
themselves back into a top 3 position. Cold and Rapid on the other side were the team that was finding all those eliminations in the end game, right? The amount of success Cold and Rapid managed to string together when it came to end game eliminations clearly showed on his standings, Jacob, given that they had just an insane amount of points based off of elims alone.
Yeah, in 5 games, Monster, they had 30 eliminations, with their worst game being a 7th place. Unfortunately, that last game of the day, they got 1 elimination. They went down in 26th place, so outside of placement points. So all they got is those elims, which allowed for Acorn and Bolts, who's been consistent.
73
all of day
people
one to get
live.
that 1-point lead with a victory royale.
The 7th game in the
to shake out. Javi in a minute
Yeah,
here, sitting
day
on the
two.
leaderboard, 5th place going into this game. And this is where there's a little bit more of a gap. Everybody in the top 4 has 311 points or more. Javi and Aminish are sitting at 270 points on the overall
I mean, not
tournament.
7
You can see
for day
15th
2.
place
This is the
with 4
first game,
eliminations was gonna be
but the whole,
starting
if you're
game
talking
with
about
each and every
whole
one of them.
FNC's finals, this is 7th game.
Minish Javi here on the move. Playing the
Oh, they are
outside. I kind
about
of like this, right? Using this storm
239
to go for
about
the north side. Definitely
218
is
about
a strat. Now, this is a
229
team that didn't
about.
tank storm
My
early, right?
gosh.
So they actually have the luxury, Jacob, here to take a look
230
at the storm,
about.
right? Other teams will find themselves more in the storm sickness kind of danger zone, but here they are. The zone moves right into them now, and they have relatively strong positioning here.
Yep, on that mountain. So you can easily pull off of that mountain, but if you're up there, you can shockwave off. You can go ahead and take high, or just simply use the running shockwave to cover distance. 5th zone, going into 6, so it is going to be a 2 tick of damage if you're inside of the storm. Going to be changing into a 5 in about 20 seconds when it does close. But you're seeing why a lot of these teams are staggering themselves so long into the storm. They have extra white HP heals, and they just want to dodge all the chaos of this mid game, where typically you will take damage from other players trying to rotate in. Visual and Braids, they spot out Max, they spot out Moppings in the distance, and you see them kind of building and rotating parallel to make sure they don't take too much damage.
Bucky.
Bucky and Zen, though, they're in the fray, in the mix. You see them teeter-tottering up and down below
Bucky
that
and Zen,
damage
right.
threshold.
Oh
As the
my
dust
god.
settles, they're gonna fall below, but Zen once again takes some damage, 103.
Oh,
and he gets
nice.
a good shot coming out from Bucky.
Wow.
On power, back to back.
Three-
Get the elimination
three-
as well. That
oh
sends him
my God,
flying up
330
that
above.
Storm Surge leaderboard.
That was crazy. Big performance, big opportunity there for Bucky to keep his team in the game now. They went from danger
370
territory
above.
to
Oh my
well
God.
above and safe now. They just have to survive the onslaught. And look at this. They eliminated that team long before they can even get situated and start digging into the heals that they were pretty much saving
Oh,
up there in the
shit.
reserves. But Ritual, it is not looking good for him right now as he is down and out. This is all up to Agers now. He's putting his team on the back here. Picks up a little bit of the loot that was left over, but couldn't quite get the extra heal here. We'll see if he ends up having time to double back now as the zone is pushing there. There it is. And luckily for him, I mean, the pressure eases up. Now, we are in the in-game, right? So
Yeah.
Agers is positioned just well enough with shockwaves, all the extra mats and heals
Like
here. to
63
actually clutch this
people
out
still
and turn
alive
this still
and
into a positive sum game for them.
33
Yeah, it's
teams.
264 above the damage
Bala
threshold.
ba yung
That
kando
can
de mo,
teeter-totter
man?
pretending where the zone goes.
Holy shit.
Easily try to go ahead and grab shots on players
Let's
rotating through the sky.
clicks
He's not
and-
the only solo there. You see
yeah.
Salt
Oh, Peter
and
Bottom
some
for
others on that side of the map.
here.
Easing the tension though, since they're all solos, the chances of getting aggressed
Oh
on
my.
are going to be very, very slim. As opposed to this
Oh,
side
they're
of the map
already
where you have
500
Peter
above.
Boyo and a few other
But that's
duos
good.
positioned 600 above the damage threshold, and you're seeing almost a different approach to start the games yesterday to start the games today. Yesterday, they were elevated pretty high up in most of these end games, going from zone to zone. This time around, they're going to start at the low ground and probably elevate themselves with each and every passing zone.
Gonna have to definitely find some new positioning. Not sure if I've ever seen
Oh, it's far.
Oyabiso passively tucked in the low ground on the backside of zone here.
But are they in? Okay,
This, the zone's gonna pull
if they're
far
trying to
and
go
away.
top
Now again, they
top
have
of
that natural
the
terrain to play off of
mountain,
here, so if
maybe
they're
they
gonna get a lot of
can,
value
you
for
know,
their
they can
shockwaves.
shockwave.
Real catch is if opponents start to base up sooner rather than later and get pretty much a bit of that high
Oh,
ground. they will
160
be able
below.
to- He opened
Oh,
up a
shit.
bunch of fire. Threats and Veer find themselves below the surge. They're actually trying to out-survive this, waiting for the moving zone here as opposed to looking for a fight right now. So
Oh yeah,
this
that's
is a team
not
gonna
good.
be fishing for damage here on the moving storm.
126 below, even with that contested off spawn fight. You got to imagine, since it is off spawn, 100 HP. If they took damage, you saw Spear down to a sliver of HP at one point to start the game. So just because you're contested, just because you win, doesn't mean it's all joy at the end of the day. But you were right, it does look like their first attempt is going to be to out heal it, but 17 players need to go down. They're just on that line, 45 damage. They spot Skiddler and his duo above. They're trying to get one of
60
those
below.
shots to bleed through. They have the Thunderburst, the consistent pressure, but no luck on their side. 60 below, taking damage. They have no extra heals, Monster. In this moment, they are going to jump above. Storm Surge for them is not going to be a thing, but they need to be persistent, try to put down
Oh,
the pressure.
bow,
But
nice,
just
nice,
because
nice,
they're
nice.
ahead here doesn't mean they're going to be ahead in the next zone.
What happened?
Peterbot Boyo, though, continue to do what they do. We said that they were looking uncharacteristically positioned on the
Ooh.
backside of zone. You can see it's ending up playing out in their favor. They
Oh,
find
the
an
clicks
Elam here,
and
then they
he's
rotate
already
in
taken
smoothly
height.
right afterwards. But when you start looking up towards height, when you start looking at who's trying to position for the big win once again here, it's Clicks and Higgs. I love that they're trying to take on this identity as a high ground team and one that's willing to put everything on the line doing it.
Yep. 8th zone though, we've seen so many instances.
Aegis, oh my god.
Team after
Which was
team sending
oh,
it
he
for that
didn't.
high ground, trying to fight. Aegis was one of them,
He's
but not
cooked,
gonna be
bro.
one
He's
of them in this game.
72 below, 77
the
below.
damage
Yeah,
threshold
sorry.
by himself, tries to sneak a shot in onto Jarku and Carillion. Doesn't find any luck there, but he needs to be persistent because he is out of heals. 165 HP. He can only take about 8 ticks of this zone total, even if he was full health. And those ticks are being a huge difference maker, forcing him to try to make a play here. 145. He's going to be able to make it above in that
Holy.
last one because of the shockwave of somebody else. But now it's his turn to try to shockwave in. He takes that same amount of damage. The blessing here, though, Monster, for him is Storm Surge just deactivated.
That's right. We are inside that top 40 from the high ground, though. Clicks and Higgs doing exactly what they do
Wait.
best. Already finding several sets of elimination, little extra damage onto what looked to be Curve and Higgs there. But while we look away, Zen tries to come up here. This is, of course, Bucky and Zen trying to make a play for height, but Clicks and Higgs shut it down, and they remain
Nah,
successfully in control here at the moment. Now, do keep in mind, they committed very
They're
early
going
here.
crazy,
and they
bruh.
didn't have max material. All that they're trying to do right now is show that they are willing to dominate height here and play for the win.
Yeah, Higgs finally getting that elimination, getting cleaned up for Bucky, looking towards the backside of the zone, trying to find Loop, and instead he finds Tyler Chance. Not sure if they see Peterbot and Poyo either. They're going to shockwave to the front, not just yet going for height. We still got a few more zones for that to be a possibility, but if you look at their material count, they might have to get an elimination first. Mud's
Oh my god.
Acorn and Bolts down below in the mud find themselves 2 more eliminations here. Acorn not getting one, so no siphon for him, so he has to beeline it to the zone. Not a lot on the Chug Jug either, so a dangerous position here for Acorn
That's
to
not
be
good.
in.
Oh my god,
And his
Higgs.
opponents in the storm as well. Bolts is somewhat left behind here, trapped in the build. Meanwhile, Cold and Rapido, a single
Click-
Elam,
oh, no,
this
no,
is what
Click's
we've seen them
not
do
down.
best. I won't count
my
Cold
bad.
out any further, as I've done that once before.
Veno,
and I made
oh,
the
okay.
mistake by saying so. Veno, Curve on the other side have 4 eliminations. Pressure coming in here. This is what we wanted to see
Rush.
from Veno and Curve. Yesterday, they just
What about
just
Pete?
couldn't quite figure
I
out
can't
their
even see
end
them.
game
Oh,
and
they're
find their
still alive.
footing.
Nice.
But now
That's
here
good.
we are seeing a stronger than ever Veno.
Yeah, and they have almost
Oh,
maxed out material
whoa.
compared to everybody else. Peterbot and Poyo running out, trying to get into the box. They don't find any opportunities there, so they just continue on getting to the front side of the zone. Chug Chugs, pizzas. Poyo has plan B ready.
Oh,
if it comes
shit.
down to it, but high ground gets
Down.
contested.
Oh,
Clicks falls,
shit.
Higgs being
Enough,
forced out of the
enough,
zone.
take the
It's
height. Oh my
and
god.
enough. A whole new
Oh
team
my
entering
god.
into the mix, ready to
Enough,
make
take the
a
height.
number 2 count
Oh
here.
my
They
god,
already
that's
have those
crazy.
3 eliminations. They're looking up, making sure nobody else is up there. They
Oh,
don't see
yeah, he's
anybody, so
cooked,
they
bruh.
immediately set
Enough,
their
god.
eyes back to down low, and
Holy.
that was the distraction. That was the mistake. Flying from outside of the zone, Curve and Veno
Oh
are now our new
my
teams on high
gosh.
ground.
Excellent execution as well, from practice to putting it into play here.
Yo,
Curve and Veno
that's
have the high ground here. No
crazy.
heals though, so we'll keep an eye on them. Boyo is down and out. Peterbot
Oh, no.
left to clutch this up by himself. He makes it right into the top
No,
10. It's a little bit of
shit.
HP there, but unfortunately will fall just short. Now
Oh my
Curve and Veno
god.
assessing the situation here. They have mats to play with. They have the height and the distance from the rest of the
What
opponents,
about-
but can they put the pressure down?
Yeah, coming into this game in 10th place on the leaderboard.
What about Clicks
Not what they had
and
hoped.
Higgs?
And one thing we were both questioning is
Are
what
they
is
still
going
alive?
wrong in their mid to end games, because if they can make it there, they can make the plays happen.
But I
They're
didn't
short
saw.
here
I didn't
early in
saw.
Game number 1, Cold and Rapid get pushed.
Oh my.
Cold goes down. A sacrifice for Rapid. He gets the Elim, and he's trying to get out. Wagers goes down to Muzz and Sphinx. This is just
Yeah,
chaos
they're
ensuing
there.
on the low ground. And for Muzz
Top
and Sphinx,
6,
they might be the only duo
top 3
left
teams.
alive down below, because Rapid goes out, Aloe goes down. They have full control
5 more people,
of the
oh my
bottom
god.
side of the map.
Now, if they can just get a little bit of material here off one of these refreshes, they'll be
Oh,
in
that's not
huge
good. Like, they
shape
have only
here to
44
actually fight for
mats.
the win right now. There it is, the most important Elim. Veno and Curve are really
Oh,
down
Veno
and out.
have only
They're pretty
8
much
builds,
down
so
bad
that's
here.
oh
This is
shit.
going to come down to all accuracy.
See Veno just
Oh
trying to use
my
audio
god.
visuals. The mythic pump takes down Sphinx, gets the siphon, or at least he's trying to keep himself alive.
Oh, no,
Code
no, no,
Disruptor
no, it's all
against
good.
Muzz. Curve and Veno start day
GG's.
number 1, game 7 on fire.
And Veno is that guy. He's the guy that we knew that coming into a second day, he's going to tweak the game plan. He's going to make sure he's going to be able to perform here, Jacob. And they did just that.
Yeah.
What a win for them right there. They're going to wrap up the first game here on the second day. Game 7, Zeke, is now officially wraps.
Guys, you guys can get the drop watching my live stream, okay? In Twitch.
Insane shot. Veno. Oh, I cannot believe this, guys. I thought to myself, game 1 has to start strong, right? Like, game 1 of 6 today has to start strong. And Curve and Veno get a 9 elim victory royale. Kelly, I'm losing it.
Yes, you are, but they aren't. And I think that there was a lot of us wondering if they were losing it after day number 1, ending the day off in 10th place, which, you know, reasonably isn't that bad of a position. But when it's Curve and Veno, we were kind of expecting them to be in the top 5 after day number 1. But if they continue to play
Rapid
like
and Call
this,
still
Vivid, if they're
top
able to
1, and
run that
Archon and
mid-game
Balls
and then wait
top
for that opportune moment to steal
75.
height, just like
So,
we
sorry,
did in game number
not
7,
75, my
then I
bad.
imagine
Top
we'll
2,
see
and they have
Veno
points
climb up that
375.
leaderboard as the day goes on.
And it is neutral, 359. Oh, Pete. Oh, Pete, and Foil, 314. And Clicks and Hicks, 304. Oh my gosh.
That everybody was kind of talking about, and it feels like finally in game number 7 we get to see exactly why those initial thoughts of Veno looking to control the higher ground were even a thing to begin with. And I gotta tell you, this is very, very scary for this grand finals and everybody that was above Veno and Curve at the start of today, because yesterday in day number 1 they did not have any singular game where they got better than 10th place. This was their first time jumping into the single digits of placements.
What?
And they win it. And they look disgusting. I mean, that shot right there from Veno, you guys
This
couldn't see
Veno.
me. My jaw was literally as far
Oh,
down
they're
as
5th place. Oh my gosh.
could go. It looks like he's in form right now. The duo's looking good. They made it to the end.
9
all the
kills. Oh
way.
my god.
They were on the higher ground. I don't
Peterbot
know.
Empire has
I'm
30
scared.
kills, and
Oh my gosh. This is
Bro,
why sometimes
what?
we talk
Clicks,
about,
are you
like, these
serious?
Teams, right? Day 2, they come back even stronger. Has Veno been set free? Is he off the leash? Is he going crazy? Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Don't
what
worry.
about
Games left to go. We're gonna take a short break. When we come out,
Oh,
come back,
Lulu,
you know we have to take a look at
eh?
those standings, 'cause
didn't
there's
they
been some
play
changes. We'll see you in just a minute.
today's game? I think they didn't play. What about paper? What about enough? Where's enough? Enough. Eh, am I blind? Ah, here. Oh, top 19. Oh, that's crazy. Yo. Top 19, enough, really? Oh my gosh. They have 12 eliminations and yeah, 7,000 damage. Oh my god, damage. Oh my. Damage ratio, like, sorry, KD ratio. Yeah. Yeah, damage ratio. Anyway, 1.7. Oh my god. Anyway. What about others? Like, Must. Second place. Who's doing live stream right now? Peterbot? No lies. What about clicks? Nope. What about Veno? I think Veno is doing a live stream today, right? What? Really? Sellan called. Nope. Okay, Semi watching defenses and oh, Selfie also watching. That's 1.1k viewers. And what about? Oh my. Anyway,
By his Atlan.
okay, we have a few more minutes, so
Players are just so locked in.
Could it be the milk?
anyway, uh-huh.
Stay there.
Aduh, Kirit sponsor कर रहा हूँ ना सिल्ला ना Kirit sponsor कर रहा हूँ fucking hell what kind of a milk is that bro is she not going to work She don't
Welcome
want to
back, Fortnite
go?
fam, to the FNCS game 1 of the day. 7-9 Elim victory royale. Now, I mentioned before the break, these standings are gonna shift. Kelly called out, yeah, Curve and Veno were in the top 10. You know, that's kind of crazy. But, you know, Kelly, it just takes one game of Fortnite to kind of change everything around. And of
Yeah.
course, wouldn't you know it,
oh I want
Veno
to
actually
check
jumped up from
Twitter
that 10th place. 327 points. I guess, Kelly, without spoiling it, where do you think they landed? I'm going to answer for you. Top 5!
Oh, hey, top 5. That's just what we were talking about. And
Good
you
answer,
can
good
see
answer.
that calling from Sundown from many years ago, the Shoopening is happening right now. From 1st to 5th place, we have around a 71-point difference. And we know that 71 points is easily gained in a single game, Vivid. So to see Curve and Veno, who are at the bottom of this list in page number 1, jump up all the way, I feel like not only inspires me, but also inspires the rest of the lobby to do the same.
Yeah, huge for them to go ahead and do this. And coming into today, Kelly kind of already talked about how many points they are behind right now. Coming into today, after the first 6 games on day number 1, Curve and Vena, when they were sitting in 10th place, and Cold and Rapid were sitting in first. 113 points was the difference between Veno and Curve and first place after day number 1. Like Kelly mentioned, they're now 71 points behind, which means that they closed the gap that game by 42 points. So, technically speaking, if we were to run that exact game number 7 back 2 more times, Curve and Veno would be in first place right now. Anything's possible. These standings are a lot closer than it currently may seem. And Zeke, can we just talk about this elimination column? How in the heck are these guys leading right now? They have 40 eliminations.
They are getting active, Vivid. That is what's crazy, right? The overall placement they have may not be the craziest, right? But I mean, when you have 40 eliminations,
Okay.
40, they have an average placement of 17, but it doesn't matter, right? This is what that difference maker was of that additional point from Elims. But guys, also just look at this leaderboard, right? Look at the little numbers right next to their placement, right? We see Golden Rapid, Acorn and Bolts, they swap places, but everyone else besides Veno and Curve have not moved, right? That top 6 right before they jumped in here are all pushing forward together. It's so insane. I mean, even look at like Peterbot and Pollo and Clicks and Higgs. And now we also have to look at Javi and Aminish, because Clicks and Higgs are now tied with them points-wise, but Peterbot and Pollo are only 10 points ahead of them. I just can't believe how close all of this has become after a single game, Kelly.
Yeah, and I mean, we're taking a quick look at Peterbot and Pollo right now, and that looked actually like that could have been a very successful game for them. However, Peter was a solo player towards the end right there and did go down, I believe, in 9th place. There was a moment in that game, though, where it looked like they were taking a peek up onto Height. They saw that it was Clicks and Higgs, and for sure, I thought they were going to go and steal for Height again. But it didn't look like it went that way for them, Vivid. However, it does seem like they're already starting to change up their strategy just a little bit from what we saw from day number 1. So I can expect some more changes as well as the day goes on.
Yeah, I saw a little bit more aggressive plays out of them.
Yeah, we
were
have
kind of
5 more
used to
games,
that in
so
past seasons. Did look like they were going for a couple of extra fights, but
we already have 5. Like we already played 1 game, so right now we only left like 5 games. My opinion right now, maybe who's the people who in top? I remember the names
No,
of
and that's it's tough because
course.
this is just
Uh,
the first game of the day. We have 5 more, but we also can't really skip a beat, can we, Vivid? Like, we need to
Okay.
make sure that
I
more
think
than
called
ever,
and
we
called or
remove those
rapid,
little mistakes
rapid
or whatever. Like,
or
again, look at the top of the leaderboard, right? We
like
came in,
Ritual or maybe Ritual at the team. Yeah, maybe top the top 3 team, or of course top 1 team who is going to win this tournament. But if Peterbot and Poe try hard enough, that mean maybe we can maybe they can go to, like, top 1. So for that at least they need 2 at least they need 2 or 3 wins with a lot of kills, of course, because like right now they have 30 kills, right? So what I'm thinking, at if they need to pass everyone, they need to get like more like like uh 10 kill wins, like 10 kill 2 times, like they need to get 10 kill wins, not just one, just 2 times, like 2 or 3 times. So if that happen, yeah, maybe we can think, yeah, Peterbot and we're going to win or something. Same for the clicks and hits too. So,
It almost feels like that's a lot of time, but you and I both know these games will go quick. We already seen accelerated game 1 in
but
terms of
I
elimination.
think clicks and Higgs need more kills than Peterbot and Poyo, because like the people who are above clicks and Higgs, everyone have more than 30 kills, right? So yeah, of course they like clicks and Higgs have only 15 kills, so that's mean they need a lot of kills and wins to get top 1. So I don't think they will win these FNCS, but yeah, who knows? This Fortnite.
That qualification spot into the top 13. That is as stacked as the race at the top of the leaderboard. So we'll have our eyes peeled on both the top and those qualification spots throughout the day. But Curve and Veno, when I was kind of looking at some of those stats, there are the top 5 players in damage. Curve and Veno are 2 of those 5 players. Both of these guys are firing all cylinders. And this is when we were going into the heat sponsor. I was talking about the makeup of this team. Obviously, the accolades aren't there on Curve, but it reminds me so much of that Queasy and Veno duo that dominated EU for so long.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. And, we called it out at several different points last time. Game 1, Curve and Veno's ability to ambush multiple teams at different vending machines was honestly commendable. And then we tune in like game 3 or 4, and they have like 7 elims in the early game. So clearly they have figured that part out. And if today it's all end games with Veno and Curve, I mean, all they've been doing all season long is practicing psychoing for height and dominating, right? And hey, this is the 3rd time now Veno basically makes an end game, 2 of which he went for high ground. So he's showing us if he's got a shot at it, they're going to take it.
Seeing so many teams really kind of emerge and their game plan set in stone, but these quick off
Oh, there's a
really
fight.
proved to kind of be the difference maker. Taking Mafia,
Oh.
Jack, and NPen already. One
NPen.
elimination being cleaned up by NPen. Mafia is going to be the one going down, but they kind of switch up their drop spot a little bit. It's not too far away from the split drop towards the left, but they're actually full committing to the south side of Frigid Fortress this time around. Not sure if it's a bus path change or an overall game plan adjustment, but for Jack and NPen, that might be the difference maker. But you got to be careful because you got Minished on the other side, you got Osin and Scare on the north side, so it's not going to be as free as it seems.
There's a lot going on here. Definitely, they're kind of in the mix here. Now, they do have, like you said, that early elim here. So, it's a single player left in the duo. They're just hiding out for the bias time here. Seems like he
that-
finally finds an opportunity
That's
to jump
kinda
into the mix.
surprising,
Jack has to come
Shar.
to the rescue. Is he gonna
Oh
get
my
in?
God.
There it is. But oh my gosh, what a shot by the Tick here. And this is what this is what happens at the highest level of play, right, Jacob? Like, anything can happen. Pros do have their moments where they end up clutching up, and although he does get full finished here, it doesn't matter. NPen is now in a much worse position.
Yeah, NPen is just hoping that Osid and Scare get bored. They don't look for him, and you can kind of see in the feed that NPen did not get eliminated.
Oh, there's
But in
another
comes
fire.
Dragon and Creon. This might be a blessing for NPen to try to get out. He does have the zip line though, leaves you open to take a shot. Creon Dragon not slowing down. Big shot onto Osid. It's gonna push him back into the box. They have to try to find a way out.
Oh,
Freon's
no.
there on the other side. They even get the roof. Dragon pulling full aggression on this fight against
Ah,
Ocean
they
and Scared.
cooked,
They already
bruh.
get the first knock. Creon with the other angle. They get a full-on wipe.
They played that perfectly as well, leaving that weakened wall there while Dragon distracted from the high ground and then takes it at the prime time there. The timing just couldn't have been better. Looks Karis trapped, caught with this pickaxe out. Just not much you can do here. Meanwhile, Falcons,
Oh,
Peter
poor
and
Peter.
Boyo back at it, this time onto Chris and Drew. We've seen this fight happen before. The last time Chris and Drew were left almost in shambles, chased across a big section of the map. And
I
it
think-
seemed pretty similar when the zone was kind of keeping Squibbly in play. They essentially went for the battle.
Peterbot and Boyo early on are willing to take some of these risks, but you can say Peterbot takes a big shot, forced to back up. They didn't necessarily win the trades here when it comes to Surge. So they're going to have to go back on over to Squibbly, where in essence they do have almost infinite heals that do spawn up over towards that rift. But Riptides, we saw threats in Beer win the fight in that last game. Beer almost going down. You can see it kind of led into them being affected by Storm Surge, but Mako and Blanks, a team that qualified out of Frigid Fortress with a victory royale, just changing up their drop spot here again today. And that's sometimes what you have to do. From day 1 to day 2, you hit the VODs, you figure out what changes you can make.
Threats and Beer were successful in the last game. This time, Threats is left to play this one out by himself, at least here at the start. And once again,
There's another team behind him.
Player count, 78 remaining.
Oh,
so
shit.
it
Oh,
seems
shit, I
like
don't
the,
think.
early day jitters are out the window here now. You're back to Curve and Veno playing similar to the last time. It made sense why there was that big wooden base. This is just the early game strategy. Committing here to play for a Surge Tower.
Where he's going to give up all the loot to Curve right now. You know, Curve is kind of, I wouldn't say the mastermind by any means, but he's the main guy, the main source of their early game damage. Trying to get Surge. You see them breaking open the tops of buildings. That way nobody can safely lurk nearby. And I think that's one thing for certain, because we saw Veno try to make that attempt in that last game, lurk back towards the Surge base that was momentarily stolen.
Hold
I wonder
and
if that's why. You see a lot of these
rapid.
Surge bases
ඒගොල්ලෝ
on
හැම්පාර
their
මෙතන
metal,
එතන බේස් එක ලස්සනට
brick.
අල්ලන් ඉන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ
Veno
මොනවද?
Curve, for the most part, they build it in wood.
Yeah, they know it's temporary. They don't want to attract too much attention. And maybe when it's wood, it kind of signals to other people, no one's going to be based up in wood, right? Surely not. It's all part of the strategy. Mind games at play here. H-Cube and Cryptid do end up finding threats there. So from Solo now back to the lobby there. A little update here with Cold and Rapid.
For threats going down though, and Veer, that's a huge loss. You know, coming into this game alone, they're in 11th place. They're 20 points ahead of the line, 13th place for that Summit land spot. So they're gonna have to really hope the rest of the competition doesn't fare as well in this game, kind of giving them a couple of chances to close out the day. There'll be 4 more games left for them. 5 overall, including this one for Cold and Rapid, just kind of business as usual. Set up center map over at Dark Dominion. Cold was able to get the Mythic Chaos Reloader, and you can see all the sorts of goodies that they have. Multiple pizzas, med kits. So they can honestly stay here just like they normally do, rotate late, and just kind of pad that surge stat.
Yeah, at least 4 or so games yesterday. I think whenever we tuned in, essentially, they had a Mythic Shotgun or AR or otherwise. So they have had a fair amount of success and a little bit of luck finding their kind of loadout situation. Bolt and Acorn in a fight against Electro and Oak right now. It's a bit of a messy one. You see other teams putting their influence into the mix here. Throwing their ammo into the bucket, if you will. Electro manages to sneak out the side, though. Turn things around, puts himself in between those firing shots.
Was prepared for this, Acorn, but for Electro and Oak, they don't want to overstay their welcome here. Shockwave outside of range for Acorn and Bold, but they end up in the range of Cole and Madden. Also been performing well so far on day number 1. It looks like Electro and Oak are looking to get aggressive here, maybe for some early surge or eliminations, depending on what they're looking for.
Yeah,
Overall,
let's
wanna try
see.
to fly up that leaderboard, but there are 4 teams directly in this location. Acorn and Bolts all the way towards the north, and a couple of teams stacked up in between. Electro and Oak got all of that information through the past couple of shockwaves, and I do think they're making the right decision. Focus on getting into zone instead of staying on a stacked edge, especially
find
for
right
their
here.
loadouts. Yeah, they don't have nothing.
A couple of fished up floppers already. They're gonna have to get their material count back. But you saw there, Cold. They thought they were
Ooh.
spotted out. That's why they based up almost defensively out the gate, which gave Electro the signal. Like, yo, wait a second. These dudes are hiding from us. Like, maybe we should take this fight. I think he's out though. Peter Boya back at it right now, finding CDZ and Raven here. It's like the worst nightmare for CDZ and Raven. You know, we gave them a lot of.
I don't know,
yesterday.
for some reason I feel like Poyo not playing much
Game, but
today.
whatever they're doing right now, they're ending up in the war path with Peterbot and Poyo. I don't like it. I'm sure they don't either.
Oh, he's cooked, bruh.
They
Nice.
almost got the down onto Poyo, but that's maybe a non-factor. He does clean up that elimination. It almost makes me wonder, CDZ and Raven rotated in towards Swibbly in that last game. They did not fight Peterbot and Poyo. So they're probably thinking like Peterbot and Poyo, they're not going to be here. They're going to rotate on out. This time a whole different plan for Pete and Poyo. They stay around Squibbly Shores. They spot out the team rotating in, and they just fight for those eliminations. 8 more
Clicks and
points.
hits. What
for
are they
them as
doing?
Continue to rise up that leaderboard. They closed the gap already with game number 1. And they're already closing the gap again, depending on how many eliminations that Curve and Benno have been able to get so far. This game started with a 13-point lead between 5th and 6th place. Well, they've already cut it down to 5.
Quicks and Hicks want to do that as well. I mean, clearly the #1 problem with their entire situation right now is that they need way more eliminations. They came into this with roughly 15 or so. If you look at all the teams inside of the top 10, they are definitely towards the bottom of the elim activity. Their placement points are exceptional though. And I mean, they even do have those 2 wins. Like, let's not forget that, right? Like, that's super impressive all in all.
For a moment yesterday, had me believing that Clicks Higgs, first time FNCS champions, he's gonna be able to channel that. They're not gonna get high elimination games. They really need to start picking up consistent placements inside of the top 5.
But they really need that, you know, high elimination win.
For the most part, this is one of those
Game with
POIs
the
I
win.
don't see very
You know.
many teams rotate in and around. I think they know how aggressive Ritual and Agers and how long they actually stay at this POI to protect that many machine. Get some early surge and avoid rotating around so they don't take any free damage to some of these other teams. Rotate late in the next couple of zones, but for Hobby and Aminish, they've already made it priority to rotate in towards the zone. Not too far away. Look at the mini map, those little blue arrows. Yep, that's visuals, that's Braids, kind of taking a page out of their playbook, elevate themselves on a mountain in the center of zone, and hopefully teams make mistakes rotating by.
Yeah, their strategy hasn't changed. I mean, even last game was not too bad. If they could have just pushed it a little bit further, they'd be sitting still inside a 3rd, but 16th is still an end game, you know, overall. However, the big points start to really add up if you break into the top 10, closer to that top 5. Nothing Sphinx here. Don't see Sphinx. Yep, looks like he must have been caught in some of the action here. Look, Jacob, we were talking about how fast, you know, the first like,
took the
2
card.
zones have played out, and then from then till now, it's almost as if no one's been eliminated. We're still at that 76 player mark.
It's almost the feeling of some of these contested drops or the surrounding lands, a little bit of freedom, because everybody has that time limit where they have to drop, they have to get their loot, they have to mat up, they have to grab their resources, so maybe that's the little window of opportunities some of these teams are going ahead and taking for their own. Play out here. Aggression is going to be the name of the game if you're looking to make up with some of those points. We see Benno and Curve already doing it. We're seeing Peterbot come online with doing it. In instances, we talked about some of the solo clutch impact points monster. Agers wasn't necessarily on that list, but if we would have kept the list going for these last couple of games, added on top of that, Agers did move, I believe, into the top 5 of solo clutch players.
Definitely. This is a great kind of position to start catching up. Talk about Visual and Breeds' journey, right? Look at this. The zone's pulling south, and this is actually favorable for them because they have some distance from the edge, and they can see all of these potential opportunities of teams that have to move long before them. So they have their clear pathway to success to overdrive out, and then they have teams all in the distance to kind of pick apart in the process. Meanwhile, though, Clicks is actually in a world of trouble. Why in the world would he end up by the Dark Dominion? We'll just have to figure that one out here in a second. But he's lost Clicks in the process.
Yeah,
for Higgs.
Decisions, yeah. Big part of their game plan here. And you can see, it almost looks like they might have been rotating underneath. Not sure why Rapid and Cold would be down there, but you can see why they were getting aggressive. They're rate 252 above the damage threshold. Clix is actually pushing right
Oh,
back
what?
in. He's trying to go on the offensive. I'm not
Why
sure
is he
if this
here?
is the plan right now or just to simply try to push them back for the free reboot card. Either way, a brave play coming out from Clix. Probably knowing that Cold was weak, a lot of HP missing, and he's actually going to be able to steal away a pizza out of the
That's
hands
actually
of Cold
huge.
and Rapid. It's just a matter of Cold and Rapid rotating out. Click's probably checking to
Yeah,
make
what
sure.
happened,
Now
Higgs?
everybody is out of Dark Dominion. So even though in this moment, Monster, it looks like disaster strikes,
Oh, people.
they're going to have a
And
breath
for
of fresh air and time
for
to
that-
breathe
that
if they
thing,
get that reboot off.
The only thing I can think of, and we will have to go to the replays to find out, he had to have been fighting for Higgs's reboot card, right? There's no way he's just gonna go challenge a team like that, right? Like, not for no reason, at least, not as a solo. So in the end, though, it plays off. He ends up doing exactly what he needs to do, and he comes out ahead. You know, the extra pizza box is
Nice.
definitely gonna be a huge win for them, especially given that they're in the zone here. So Peter Pollo, though, in a bit of a standoff right now, and they have the zone. Okay, this is actually perfect. 800 damage above. Material count not exactly maxed out, however, though, they have everything else going for them.
The whole team next to him is Flex and Light on the other side, trying to put down pressure, possibly force Peterbot and Pollo back, but we're going to have some time here in a moment as they drop down a whole nother layer. A 5-tick zone, and we tune into Reet right now. No Cooper in sight, having to burn through his materials. Multiple teams, looks like they spotted him out as a solo. Send some fire his way, trying to put down pressure, but the zone max pulls yet again away from Reet. Just got to see if he's going to actually try to go for the revive here with very little materials or play it out as a solo. I think he has no other choice but to play this one out as a solo. There's not enough time to get the revive. Both of them will end up going down. So Reet, a lot of pressure on your shoulders here to finish this game.
Pressure on Bolt and Acorn as well here. Below the surge, we were highlighting the fact that teams like Acorn and Bolts didn't have problems with the Storm Surge at all, at least doing damage to them. And then we come in now, and already that's not the same story here at all.
Oh, 12
So much
HP.
pressure here. Doesn't even have time to go and heal. But Bolts comes in to back him up here. This is onto paper. This is really going to come down to whether or not Bolts can buy his teammate a little bit of time. He's done it so far. He finds Paper there. And Paper goes rolling away off to the side. Rezi now in a one-on-one against Acorn. Acorn, you got to fend for yourself, son. This is going to be tough. Rezi's trying to hold it down. Acorn, no! The big Acorn is here. And he does what he needs to do to stay in the game. But no. Bolts has to leave him.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my, I can't believe that
Oh,
zero
enough is dead.
offense. Acorn and Bolts forced to fight. They shockwave away. Bolts tries to make a heroic play, but just gets cut a little too short. This game
Holy
right
shit.
here in terms
What
of leaderboard
happened,
monster,
bud?
they are going to feel for sure. Outside of Elim, those are the only points they got. See possibly going down around 29th, 30th place. No points for that effort. Peterbot and Pollo, though, surviving a little bit of an onslaught, not only able to get eliminations, but a little bit of a cleanup, some extra loot for them to work with. And it's something
Rapid and
I think
Cold.
Cold and Rapid need. We saw them getting chased by Clicks underneath, trying to get revenge for Higgs, and you can see what that has done to their position in this game. Barely 3 above the damage threshold.
Hey,
Cold
Rob,
with a
what happened
huge
to
chunk
Clicks?
of shield
Is he
missing. It's
still
put him so
alive?
far back.
I'm just
No,
thinking,
right?
like, Cold and
He's
Rapid
not,
have a
yeah.
chance to break so far ahead of the competition. It's going to be a huge problem for the rest of the lobby right now.
Oh my.
If they have a big end game right here. No one's played perfect, though.
I feel for him here, just taking damage
Yeah,
from the Storm,
GG's.
taking damage from Storm Surge. No extra HP. He's 93 below. It's deactivated
down.
for a moment.
Oh.
And oh my,
Oh
that's
my
the
gosh.
only moment he needs. Literally, if it was still actually active, Monster, he would have been ticked down for sure. But Reet making a play, 4 more points in this game. 2 teams need to go down, and he's going to start getting rewarded with placement points.
Hey,
What?
man, he's back like he never left right here. It's got 2 big pots as well to bounce back in the game. Pressure on Braids and Visuals from the side here. These are his walls, too. He can get in and make some pretty dirty plays here. But talk about a way to claw your way out of the grave for a second. Visuals and Braids, though. Look at what happened here. Just shortly before they made that rotate, they actually find an elimination there, an important one as well. At 3 HP, the Siphon is what's going to keep them in the game, remaining competitive. I saw that while we were hopping around, Clicks actually eliminated 2. So we have some pretty big top 10 teams now fully out the game. This is going to shake up everything as we know it. 68 below though. Visuals, Braids get a little moment to breathe, but it's not going to last very long.
You can see Braids had some extra shield, allowing him to take the tick, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to find the damage, especially in a zone like this. Curve and Veno, we saw Shockwave from the backside of zone to contest the high ground. Nobody's really making themselves known as the team above the rest. They're not necessarily ready for it. 8 zones. Sometimes we say it's a little bit too early, and I think everybody has that same sense in the back of their mind. Saving the material, saving the Shockwaves, make a play for it maybe in the next couple of zones, but for now, Agers and Ritual, looking at what's in front of them. That's Slepsy, that's Wagers. They're putting down damage, trying to spray through the box. A couple of those are going to connect, but not enough.
Bro, I'm really confused, bro.
There's one thing about the way
We had
Crimson Haze played, they played
33 players,
single
like,
towers
okay,
and not really overcommit with the
22
tarps.
teams,
I would love to
and
see teams
balu
do
mau
that,
kita kira
because
kira.
high ground is completely free right now. Even Rituals and Agents are looking up like, wait a second, bro. No one's up here, and you saw him kind of break off for it. Braids on
Oh
the
my
other side,
god, इतने
just
की
popping off right here.
इतने chance का वो पीरे बटन पर oh my god, they contesting flight. Oh my god, no, nice.
Waiting for someone to build a foundation, and now they come in to try to take the investment.
Oh,
away
they
from
took
them,
the
and it
height.
actually works
Nice.
out.
Yeah, massive damage onto Agers, onto Ritual, forcing them away, but you still got to be careful for Curve and Veno, full HP, front side of zone. Agers gets left by himself. Talk about him moving possibly into the top 5 in terms of solo impact points in this game, and this is another chance for him to do just that. There's a bunch of points in terms of placement still left on the board.
connected the high. Okay, I'm gonna see it. You're gonna palhan ta set pack no.
Notice that second height, put down a little bit of pressure.
Oh,
force
shit,
them
shit,
down a whole nother layer, then set their focus onto 20 and Neko as well. They're building up step
No.
by step, taking a lot of the
Rapid and call palha lagani na. Oh my god, rapid down.
They've been playing low ground very well, but look at
Okay,
this. As they're about to celebrate their key positioning, they get
I
rolled
think
up on from
yeah,
behind.
call
Meanwhile,
this only
Curve,
called right now.
Veno doing the same
Up for
thing
the
they
city.
did before, play deep side of Storm, come bouncing way on in with the Flowberry Mist of just support them here for the high ground take.
What happened to- oh, Pollo is, knocked.
Peterbot Pollo, it seems like they've conceded to give
Oh,
away the high
shit,
ground,
shit,
and
shit,
it is
shit, shit,
theirs
shit,
now.
shit.
Veno and Curve here,
Bro,
Jacob,
what the hell?
back to backs. Pollo's down and out in the storm. It's all up to Peterbot to clutch it up too.
It's top 9, bruh. Oh my god, Peterbot like in 6 HP, and he don't have any heals, so that's not good.
If they could repeat that same game, they can close the gap. But now with first, second, and third place out of your way, this is an opportunity to do it. But Peterbot by himself, 6 HP and a dream, finds a little crevice there to hold on to down below.
No,
able to get the
Peterbot
elimination,
there.
though. He gets taken out. Top 6 situation, 3 solos running around, 3 duos still intact. Veno and
Holy
Curve are still
shit.
up above, raining down fire, not really giving anybody a chance to breathe and think outside of the box, which is Force and Seek to take this storm damage. It's his only play here to try to get some extra placement points.
Love what we're seeing right now. Veno coming down here. No material, just forced to play chest to chest here while Curve's got eyes from the top down. Here comes the mist. Just give them a little bit of a relief here, but Tyler comes up, goes for the pop shot, doesn't quite hit it, and Tyler's got enough mats to actually do work here. Jacob, this is not a safe endgame by any means. It really is going to come down to whether or not Tyler wants to contest them on height or jump down low for some elimination.
We have 5 people.
That's not just the build that I'm looking at. It's that mythic chaos reloader that can turn the tides of fights in the blink of an eye. But he's getting pushed by the solo down below. Seek, he gets the elimination. Siphon getting up to 200 effective shield and HP. More builds to
Oh,
work
no, no,
with.
no.
But up above, Curve and Veno, they're refusing to drop down low. They're refusing to give him a chance. So Tyler
Oh
has
my
to go
god.
up above. Big shot on the Curve. Tyler is trying to make dreams come true. He lands another shot on the Veno down
Ooh.
below. Trying to
Oh my god.
back to back. Tyler, he just needs
It's
the
3
one
HP.
chance, but he is already down. He's by himself. 1v1.
No, my god.
HP.
Oh
Tyler,
my god.
stop.
Oh,
You know
that's
what? That might have been his
crazy.
biggest play of his
Oh
career,
my god.
and he definitely deserves
What?
it. There's one thing you cannot deny.
Yo.
Professional player with build is dangerous no matter who you are.
Oh my god, bruh.
Well played to Tyler and Chance there. What an exceptional game number 8 that
Wow.
we just saw, Jacob.
Yeah, I was saying
That's
Tyler,
a
he
crazy
needs a chance,
end game,
but
man, not gonna lie.
his chance, he's down. Well, he got that second opportunity and he ran away with it, Zeke. Are you not excited?
That was.
Bro, this
I'm sitting there like
Ow.
Tyler's walking around taking these shots. I'm like, oh myself. You know, I'm thinking like, oh, get out of the way, kid. No. I just, you know, it's one of those situations, right, when you're like, dude, this is Curve and Benno, right? Like we're about to see the back-to-back day to a grand.
wait guys, give me a second.
We pop over to Tyler, and you just look at his build. You're like, this guy's 90 build. Like, GG. Just
Okay.
think it's all fine. Like,
Let's see the leaderboard.
to hit those shots.
Cold and Rapid still in top 1, and Edison Ratio in top 2. That's crazy. Oh, Peterborough and Polo, like finally they are top 4. What about clicks and oh my gosh. Oh, that's not good. That's not good, Bang. Oh my god. Yo, that's not good, huh? That's not good, huh? Put that in. Enough, down to 19 to 22. Yeah. Like, see, that's what I told you. Like, clicks and his need kills. They need kills. Okay, so yeah. Like, maybe if they take 8 or at least 5 kills in next game with a win, maybe that will help them to get into like top 3 or 4 something, you know. But yeah, anyway,
I saw 100 plus materials, 100 plus builds on Tyler. I was like, this one, he's gonna be an absolute hassle to take down, and he absolutely proved it. Shout out to Venom though, because even with the odds stacked against him, took him down to 3 HP. It was close.
It was, man. I cannot believe how much day 2 is delivering. 280 points. And now we are looking to cement ourselves in that.
by the way, what about the
Shout
chat?
outs
Like,
to
is
Tyler
anyone
and
talking?
Chance. Okay, we're gonna go to a break. When we return, again, we've got to take a look at these standings. How are things developing? More after this break. Stay tuned.
Okay, I want to see what Silent Peak is. I don't know, nothing. What this guy is doing.
Why not?
Yeah, the thing is,
Pizza and 3 meds. Don't they have the same coach? Cold dropped a box of pizza. And he has an empty slot.
What the?
But he's popping a med. That's why. And then Clicks was playing aggressive and it left a box of pizza. That's why. Yes, that's what happened. Oh, okay, my bad. Here, I'll.
Anyway. Community showcase? What is that? Holy, oh my. God damn. Wow.
100. I got hit. I'm popping a med bit. Wait, short. Got 6 builds. No, max up. Wait, if you're med, wait.
Oh. 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 Oh my god. What is that? Oh my.
And I don't know how to feel about it.
You're not used to losing. Getting beaten?
Not like this. These players are just so locked in.
Could it be the milk?
Oh. Adik bogal lah dia. Why does he sound like Peter? Peter in Family Guy?
Stay there.
By the way, guys, I will like after this tournament live stream, I will do my next Fortnite live stream. Maybe 29th. Yeah, 29th. I will do a live stream.
First off, in
Okay.
case you missed it, welcome back to the FNCS. It is great day to be watching Fortnite. We just watched an incredible game, but Curvin Benno almost got another Victory Royale. Second place, 9 elims. I told you we'd have to look at these standings, right? Because I'm telling you, game to game, it feels like I have no sense of stability, Kelly. It feels like every time I have a semblance of like, this must be the way this is going, right? Wrong!
Is that
Imagine
true?
Peter and
Oh, I'm sorry.
Foil
I feel like
gets
instability is part
3
of your
wins in a row.
lifestyle,
Oh
so I
my
don't think it's
gosh,
anything new whatsoever, but for the
that's gonna be a
FNCS
craziest thing
broadcasting,
can
our
happen,
leaderboard
but
this much vivid might be a little bit new. I definitely thought the leaderboard was going to be ready. There we go. Okay, Vivid, take it away.
but people are put 5th, really?
Benno
What?
started the day in 10th place. I talked about it. They were 113
Okay.
points behind first place after just 2 games.
Anyway,
They're
but
now 27 points behind first
ooh,
place. And that elim column, it just keeps getting crazier. Zeke, you talked about it. It was at 40. Now it's at 49.
I am just shocked, you know, like
Well, then,
something
season.
that Kelly said at the start of like yesterday, right? When we kind of like were
okay,
hinting
400.
at this extra
Okay.
point, right? Again, it's like 1 point really doesn't sound like a lot, but when you put it in the hands
380,
of like a Curvin Benno, who
44,
wants to
like
get
it's
aggressive, they wanna get in
almost
these
100
shots, they wanna
points, like
take
you
these
know,
fights.
100
I mean,
points
look
gap,
at
but
how it's paying off.
I
We-
think they
this is
can,
after 2
they
games.
can
We
climb,
started
but
the day, Kelly,
that's
in
mean
10th.
they need to kill,
We are now second.
they need to get a lot of
It's not
kills
seeming
and
like
you
they're
know, a
just
lot of
kind running
placement.
on the low ground getting these eliminations. No, they're also making sure that they're stealing height, checking high ground, making sure that they're taking away other opportunities from other teams. So it's not, again, what are they doing right, but what are they taking away
Ready.
from everyone else?
Combo.
And Curve and Vinu are doing a
Muka
great
Desho
job
kill.
with those sneaky height steals that we love to see Acorn do, and to see them use that strategy to be able to even just punish height. Obviously, coming into this final moment, the 1v2
Ooh.
against Chance or against Tyler, probably not the position that Veno wanted to be in right now, but regardless of that, they are pushing themselves up the leaderboard right now. And, you know, I'm looking at EU. The most eliminations we saw out of a team coming from Europe was Sky and Scroll with 57 eliminations.
Oof.
And looking to see 49 for Curve and Veno. And considering the game or the day that they had yesterday to the day that they're having today, I wonder if they're going to end up with more elims than them.
Yeah.
Gotta say, Zeke, what a weird lobby that was too, with like the high ground. Like at one point there was like nobody up there, and all of a sudden, you know, Peterbot and Player kind of going for it, and then when
Bro,
Curve
look
and
at
Benno
this.
went for it, there was
Clicks and
nobody up
he's
there
the
as well,
only
like,
one
Peterbot
who
and Player had
have
to fall down and do
15
that
kills, like
huge
less than
overdrive
20.
grenade again,
What?
where they're all the way up in the sky.
Bro,
and I was
that's
like,
not good,
oh my
huh?
gosh,
That's
was
not
that a
good.
bird? It's a plane. No, it's the
Other than
plane that
everyone have
brought
more
Benno
than,
over
you
from
know,
EU to
more
NA all the
than
way up there, man.
20.
That's how high they're getting for some of these height retakes. I mean, it's incredible. Game 7, Game 8, it went the exact same way. They took height at the exact same time. And like I mentioned, man, Game 7, they look like a different duo. Game 8, they
Yeah.
repeated it. 4 more games. These guys look like they're going to win this thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man,
think
guys, we
too.
can't forget, right? Cold and Rapid, look at them up there right now. Of course, not a ton of points ahead, but what strikes me as crazy is Cold and Rapid, this last game, they hit a 10th place with 4 elims. They have only had 1 game outside of the top 10. Only 1 game, and that was that 26-1 that we called a quote-unquote mistake, right? The blunder that kind of cost them all of these additional points. But even in these situations where they're finding themselves in shambles situations, we're still pulling off 10th places, a top 10 with 4 elims. That's scary stuff, Kelly.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Cold and Rapid are doing so well, is that even though they're not, like, even if they don't get their pop-off
What's
games,
wrong
they're
with
still
him?
making sure that they at least make it
Is
to
he
the
okay?
final moment to get those placement points. And then when they do have everything right, that's when they pull off the pop-off game. So I'd love to see another game like that coming out of them.
Oh my.
Cold and Rapid, they keep trying to build some sort of a lead, but teams, they just keep keeping themselves close. They're like, what the heck? Where did Curve and Veno come from? I thought we were fine. Right now, the Bolts are doing a little bit worse
Oh my.
today. Oh man, these guys got to be sweating, but they're cool, calm, collected. 4 games left to go. Hopefully they can hold on.
Oh man, game number 9. Only 4 left before we conclude
Yeah.
the grand finals. Casters, we're gonna send it your way to prepare us for game number 9.
Game number
Glad you guys
9.
had a little moment to breathe and relax there. One thing's for certain, Jacob, 2 games can change so much of the dynamic right now. Curve and Veno proving that every team that is due for a pop-off will have it, but to go back-to-back like that, so impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. But one thing that I've learned from Fortnite, I've heard from Fortnite over the years, high ground, they might win games, but low ground tends to win championships. And I'm not sure.
Bro, the
we've seen
music
Cold and Rapid
is good,
on
huh?
high ground once throughout
Yeah,
this
game
season. I'm not sure
start.
how much that will change, but
Yeah,
this
let's
game is
go.
ready. So let's jump right into the action.
Game 9 start. Wow.
Major 1 finals game 9 begins here and
Oh.
now. If you're
Oh my
just
God, it's
tuning
got-
in, you've missed
oh, shit.
quite the weekend
But that's
of
not
ups and
good.
downs. The emotional roller coaster
I mean, the-
we have been going through
Oh,
is
fuck.
all coming to an end
Okay, let's see,
here
let's see.
soon. Just 4 games ahead of us now, Jacob, as we're getting into the deep end, the deep water of this Fortnite competition. And Curve and Veno just proven to us that, hey, yesterday, they clearly had everything on lock. Things just didn't quite line up for them in the end game. But today, it is
How is he
starting to
already
look
low?
different. Tyler and Chance, right? This is a team that's had a lot to deal with as well. But Tyler popping off right now, really getting his money's worth. And don't forget, they haven't been perfect either, but they found themselves inside the top 10 off of that monstrous performance.
Wait, okay.
Big moments here, kind of closing out the day. 4 games left. Might seem like a lot, but it definitely isn't. Threats and Veer probably are feeling it. In that last game, Monster, they were inside of that top 13 bubble. They went down relatively
26
early,
points,
fell
really?
all the way down
28
to
points, what?
15th place because of these off-spawn contested fights. So with Blanks and Mako, you can see they're trying to make a last-ditch effort towards the top of the leaderboard. But for Threats and Veer, they're right there. So we talk
Holy
about
quay.
mind games. What does that do to a team like Threats and Veer? Do you play aggressive? Do you try to go ahead and disengage, split the drop? There's
42.
a lot of
Placement in
decisions to make.
42.
Threats and
Oh,
Veer
that's not
have
good.
a lot of time to make those decisions.
Yeah, last game they only survived for 5
Amboya ko
minutes.
meter
5
kiyak na
minutes
ada.
means they fell in 41st place. They were on track to remain
Oh my.
in qualification range, of course, for that land spot, the prestigious land spots that are available. And now they slipped down to 15. So that 20-point gap that you talked about, I mean, that was given and then some. Now it's an uphill
By the way,
battle
guys,
for them to
please
find
like
their
and
way back
subscribe.
into the race.
That would be
Warrior
really
Peterbot on the other side.
something really helpful for
Trying to
me.
figure out what's going on with this team here. They've had overall, you just look at the
මෙතැන්ට නයි
overall
ටීම එක ඇවිල්ලා නැද්ද?
performances, pretty good. However, the best of the best,
අර
right? Those
පීර
that are
බොඩ
up
පොයට
at the
මේ
very
full
top are just
spot එකම දීලාද
outpacing them
ඒගොල්ලෝ?
by a
Wow.
significant margin as far as overall consistency. So will
Ah.
Peterbot and Pollo get their moment to finally win a game?
Ah. Oh, okay. All good.
Especially, you kind of look at some of these teams at the top of the leaderboard and their overall match history, and you kind of look at it from anybody else, you're like, man, that's a good match history. But for the teams like Peterbot and Pollo, for the teams like this Clicks and Higgs, when you start off the first 3 games for Clicks and Higgs with victory royales, it kind of sets the tone and the pages for the rest of the tournament, but then things don't necessarily go your way. With one of the best POIs, they got 4 games left. I think anything is possible, especially since the last couple games to start the day. They have their head on straight. They're still staying to their plan, going for high ground when they can. It's just unfortunate. I think more and more teams are ready to make the risk with everything on the line today.
For me, I still can't be the only one who's wondering why in the world did they end up at the Dark Dominion against Cold and Rapid, who are clearly playing as a cut above the rest of the competition right now. So we'll keep eyes on this. This is obviously one of the stronger draw spot teams tend to rotate into for Metal.
Noisy.
Highlight here, some
Ooh.
action.
Una Kelly Milan
down the sanctuary once again, finding nice little lurk play there. Meanwhile, Tyler and Chance survived the Boulevard. Looks like Curve and Veno have not decided to push down south towards this team, and instead they end up disengaging and out towards the southern edge of the map.
This is something we saw Tyler and Chance do in that last game. They landed the south side of Battlewood. Sometimes it can be a little contested, so they immediately go towards the south and try to cut off the loot path of any of these teams that are on this portion of the map. Going to be plenty of opportunity depending on what your timing is, but it seems like Tyler and Chance barely missed their window. Players going to go ahead and rotate around for free. Aviv and King, though, another team. Aviv, we're talking about solo clutch and big impact points. Aviv was one of those players on the top of the leaderboard, and then you take into a fact like the eval finals right before FNC has started. They were the only
මෙතර
team to
ෆයිට් එක
win
මොනවද
two
සොඳට යනවා.
different games, so they have the blueprint. Just
I mean
unfortunately, we
map
really
එකේ
haven't seen the
edge එක
success
උනත්
that we'd hope for from a
ඒගොල්ලෝ
team like
කොහොම හරි
this.
ෆයිට් එක ලොකුට ගෙනියන්න try
See if
කරනවා
they can
පුළුවන්
really
තරම්
bounce back
like
in
you know
today's tournament. I think there's
කොහොම හරි
plenty
ඒගොල්ලෝ
of time and
බය නැතුව
opportunity.
oh
They're
what the hell
174 points though.
oh
About 80 points down
shit
away from that top
oh
10.
shit
Yeah,
sneak
looks like
attack
every other game they're making somewhat of a semblance towards the end game, but not quite being able
Oh,
to push
shit.
the boulder past peak of the mountain there, get that momentum going. But Veno and Curve actually find
Ooh.
Magma G Monster right here. trying to
didn't
set
saw
up.
him
He thought
really
he was spotted out, but Magma's got no idea that he's actually
What?
positioned this close here. I want to know if he's gonna
Bro.
go for the high ground player or the low
Bro.
ground, because G Monster's exposed as well.
I think they might just go for a straight chop, but Magma's dropping down low, so he's
Oh,
probably
no.
gonna wait for the window to open. He go ahead and disengage out.
Oh,
He might
shit.
get spotted out on the other side. Don't take your pick at this point because Venom and
Ooh,
Curve
oh
ready to go
my
all
God.
in. Boxes up one, slides into the box. on
oh
the
my
back.
god what
Now
the
they're gonna go ahead and take down G Money. A quick 2
Oh my.
eliminations. Venom and Curve, they're
Oh
not
my.
slowing down.
And I've worked
Oh
with Venom
my.
enough times to know exactly what his thought process there.
Bro,
right?
that's
Put the pressure down on
crazy.
The other opponent. The other one's gonna get risky. He plays the switch reverse card, lands on him, boxes him up before he even recognizes he's actually the one that's the target. Veno is just playing different right now.
Oh
And again,
my
this
god,
is no
that-
different than what we saw yesterday. They have been
Bro, that
overly
shot
successful in the
190
early game. And now
to the
that they're
head.
finding the end game kind of formula, right? The solution to their problems.
Oh.
That's why they've been able to close
Oh,
this gap
Conan.
so fast.
What are they doing?
Not sure how many teams can really take them on head to head with the way they're playing so far. So you maybe have to catch them on a rotation, maybe get them lobby focused. But Bolts and Acorn talked about their strategy. Vivid broke it down, that long launch pad towards the back. They combine both the Fizz and the Shockwave for easy rotations
Cooper.
just like this. We jump on board Creon Dragon, the third party to fight to start the game yesterday. It was Breton Cooper as well. We talk about threats and fear falling outside of the bubble.
Oh.
They are surely close to that same situation. Not sure how Cooper went down in that last game, but we saw Reet by himself in some of those later zones, struggling to get out alive. So this is going to be a little bit of a makeup game, a little bit of a redemption to kind of build that confidence back up.
Zombie.
Exchange there a few times, so just giving away some of that damage that they're. of course,
ඒ
are-
මාරු වෙච්ච ගොඩක් හොඳයි like ඒ වගේ තැනකින් you know
But Cooper was lost, like we mentioned.
මොකද මේ එතන ෆයිට් එක කියන ඒගොල්ලන් third party වෙනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එතන ෆයිට් එක කියන seriously third party වෙනවා
Side here. Blake and Preston though already at 2 elims, and look at this. It's just trying to sneak up, find another player here, lurking in the box, cleaning things up here. Visuals Braids finds himself under some serious pressure here. Now I was going to mention, normally by now they're already situated in a monstrous surge base. Haven't quite gotten to do that just yet. You can see he is cap metal though. Meanwhile, back on over Rituals and Adris here. What's happening now?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they heard the noise from Blake and Preston. Maybe a reboot, not sure, but they see Preston by himself. I'm looking at the mini-map. I don't see Blake anywhere in sight. Gotta imagine he's either gone or outside of the lobby. So Preston on the clock, inside of the zone. It's only gonna be a 1 tick here, but they are tracing him down. He gets the patch up, which is huge. Back-to-back 50 HP. What? No time to pop the shield though, so he's buying himself a good amount of time. And the longer they stay in the zone, if Aegis and Ritual don't heal up, they could be 1 shot away, but they sneak the shot.
Oh my
again
God.
and again, and the numbers advantage work in their favor. Aegis and Ritual solidified their second elimination
Nice.
here. My only question, Monster, is how much damage they took overall chasing that one down.
Yeah, definitely wasn't the cleanest fight. SU Dozer against Acorn and Bolts right now on the edge of Storm here. Dozer Esho looking to rotate out right now. Little do they know though, seems like there might be a duo here watching this little angle. It's actually Ravens and CDZ who have a bit of a choke point here down in the low ground. But Acorn and Bolts hold strong. They want to maintain position here in the bush. CDZ had no idea they were there. There it is. They get a couple attacks. Off they go.
Good rotation here for Acorn.
Read about
Much
Port didn't
ahead
have
of
any
Curve.
kills
That's one
right
thing I
now.
noticed, kind of looking at that leaderboard, got Cold and Rapid in first. Veno and Curve in second place. Which you're thinking both big teams, right? But remember
Enter.
the reason why
Huh?
Venno came from EU
Why is he doing
to
that?
play on NA in the first place. It was to play with Cold. They had a bunch of lackluster performances, which caused them to split different ways. At one point, you saw the Peterbot and Poyo split up. Venno was going to play with Peter, but then he went with Curve. Cold was like, I'm going with
But the-
Rapid. They
not
already
gonna lie, there's so
qualified
much
for
Surge
the
Towers,
Reload
like,
Elite Series finals,
on
so
a
they already
yummy.
had that chemistry. I think the community saw that one coming from a mile away. So it's interesting to see two teammates who broke up now fighting for first and second place on the leaderboard.
That's right. And Minish has that LAN experience as well, right? So bringing something totally new to this team here. And if they continue to
Nice.
do what they're doing and stay on track to make it to LAN, that's going to pay off for sure. Think about this positioning here from Bucky and Zen underneath the bases of Noisy and Neo.
I like it to not take too much damage or too much focus. Kind of makes it a little bit easier to rotate without shockwaving a high distance away to take damage. But they're not going to get as much opportunity to get surged. The team above is going to get first strike at that. And by the time they can even open up their walls, get their own shots to connect.
By the way, guys, please use my code QTAKS. What the hell? Fuck just happened. Huh? What happened? What happened? Eh? All good? What happened?
See the zone not
Bro.
too far away from
Bro, I
Dark Maiden
thought
at
my
third
game,
time, Cold
my
and Rapid
PC got
positioned
lag.
up above. And honestly, there's no real reason for Cold and Rapid to stray away from their strategy.
Bro,
You
why
know,
is
you
she
don't
still-
fix what isn't broken. If their worst placing is going to be a 26 and kind of an outlier game, and after that it's a 10th place, honestly, you'd be crazy to switch things up for no reason.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just starting to think, should we be upset if Venno flies in from EU and then wins an FNCS?
But that's a
here?
kinda
Now
crazy
we gotta
surge
start, like,
base, huh?
asking these types of questions here. I don't know how to feel about it. It's getting pretty contentious up at the top.
Peterbot මේ වෙලාවේ මේකක් ගන්න try කරා kill එක okay ඒ වෙලාවට kill එක තිබ්බොත් හොඳයි ඇත්තම කිව්වොත් මේ වෙලාවේ මොකක් හරි kill එකක් you know
And he's just right there, honestly, less than 20 points away at this current time.
මොකද සාමාන්‍ය එතනට බහින
Yeah,
දෙන්න
as the
බැස්සේ
game
නැහැ
does go on,
මේ පාර
see Reet and Cooper
Oh.
on the distance, trying to make up for that last game. You see them kind of waiting, biding their time, and this is where a lot of teams, if you look at the
If
strategy.
Peterbot and Poyo try to chop that base.
Using the wonky wheel, and a lot of these teams, just like Reet and Cooper, Cold and Rapid, are positioned high up in their surge tower bases, so you're not going to be out of render distance as you would think.
Yeah, they got eyes on the boxes, right? Like,
oh my god මොකක්ද ඒ උනේ what weird
teams that are positioned
huh
up in these bases do tend to wait things out and try to look for opportunity for those that are going to rotate,
huh
pass.
ඒ මොකක්ද වෙලා තියන්නේ මේ drone එක move කරන එක්කනට
12 2-day format here, always keeping us on our toes as things are starting to heat up.
Who's
The
moving
mid-range
around
zone's
that
gonna
drone?
pop, and it's coming up this way.
is he drunk
And this is kind of risky, right? But, Jacob, we talked
oh
about teams
nice
that
nice
kind of
Oh,
play deep into the storm
50.
right here, and then the zone pulls your way, and you just stay here, right? And you kind of tank all of this storm. Now, what you're doing is
It's a
you're opening
2D.
yourself
Oh
up
my,
to
is it
potential
2D?
sickness, but also, obviously, it's going to cost you a lot of heals.
Yeah, a lot of their resources. That's kind of the give and take of a game like this. We talk about a similar scenario when somebody's getting struck down by Storm Surge. Do you out-heal it? Do you try to get eliminations? So hopefully with their positioning here, they do pull zone. Reed and Cooper, they're going to go through their splashes, maybe some pizzas to try to maintain their position. Not only on high ground, but on the north side of the map where it's going to open up. It's going to be
Okay,
a little bit
Storm's
slower to
objective,
travel through. Muds and Sphinx,
75
Storm Surge does have a
above.
175
Oh my god
above the
මොකක්ද
damage threshold. You're seeing
ඒ
they're also
Peterbot game
really
එකේ අර
small
base එකද ගැඩුවේ
opportunities. They're level with the ground, so they're not going to get
Did I?
as much information from all the teams rotating in.
bruh
Confused for a second. It looked like someone literally fell out the sky. I'm like, do we have an in-game event happening right now? What was that? Sphinx and Muzz just kind of hanging out right now. I like the spot that they're in, 150 above. Not too bad. Not exactly safe. However, it can go either way. See Curve, Venno now. They've already found themselves pretty content, right? They find their elimination. They get the big cleanup here, and they haven't quite left. They just took the Surge base and have turned it into their own strategy. Now zones continue to pull this way. They're going to have to shockwave out here shortly. Here it goes. going as a team, but
Why the I
someone
have
waited for them to make that move.
five people,
Little bit of
like
damage
5
up to
people are
Curve,
watching me,
Venom
but
goes
no one's talking. I don't know why.
Yeah, those are the risks versus the reward that I kind of look at in situations where you're shockwaving off of height. You have a good bird's eye view when you're able to kind of be up here, Monster, but once you shockwave down, you kind of leave yourself open to taking the shots, just like you saw there. But they were very, very proactive in the early game. They're able to pad that cushion when it comes
Clicks
to
and
storm surge, so
Hicks, what
can't
are they
take minimal
doing?
damage just like that.
What are they
Clicks and
doing?
Hicks still rotating in from Wonky Land. A little bit of slower rotation than others. They're taking a lot of the focus, and this is what happens when you fall behind with the rest of the pack.
I was wondering if we were going to get a little update on Clicks and Higgs here. Their performance definitely coming up short from what we expected. It's hard to live up to that hot start. Look at this though, Sleep 10 wagers here, tries to go up and over. They get caught in the process, also find themselves below the surge, so there's just all types of problems here to deal with. Meanwhile, Metal takes full advantage of that. They get the refresh that they need. They might even build into the zone here with a monstrous metal base if they wanted to. I was gonna say, they obviously have enough mass to do so. Let's take a look at it. It's Venno who connects there, Jacob.
Just big damage. Not sure what Slepsy was thinking, but I saw him 500 below the damage threshold. He's probably trying to drop on anybody with a surprise attack. Tries to get the one pump.
Try kar oh my god.
Kind of go down right behind Paper, who was looking not even in that direction. Probably after the elimination got cleaned up, the loop kind of made itself known. Paper looks around like, ooh, what is this? Kind of gets rewarded there. Cold and
Peter Bottom Power search base එක කඩිච්චින් දෙගොල්ලෝ තියෙන එකම අවාසිය මේ
have a target on their back going for high ground, especially since they're already in first place.
You know,
they don't have to change.
ඒගොල්ලන්ට එකම අවාසිය අර
13 damage
يعني
above the threshold.
ඒගොල්ලන්ට height එක ගන්න තිබි chance එක නැති දෙච්ච එක තමයි.
Just got a max pull over towards Humble Hills.
It. Things are about to start heating up real quick here now as we're approaching.
අර මේ පාර කන්දක් උඩ යන ඕ
End game is on. Sturm Sword
they are 150 below. Oh shit ඒක නම් ඔච්චර හොඳ දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. 150 below like
of damage to be had here, so they have to play aggressive.
Oh no.
The box they go. Higgs gets a monster shot, clicks into the box.
Clicks.
Clicks does what he needs to.
Oh no, he's dead.
Its Agers and Rituals are here to clean it up, and they take out some of that close competition there in Clicks and Higgs, and the runway is starting to open up now. Meanwhile, Curve and Venno, clear as day. Blue skies for the team over here. They have high ground and max material once again. This just doesn't get better for them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think Curve and Venno are going to win this, huh?
Shockwaving from base to base to base.
Who knows? Who knows?
To make sure they maintain
Anything can happen. Oh my god, what?
You see him with all that extra loot building outward, not necessarily to hold the target,
Peter
just
Bottom
to
is
get
not
their edge
alone.
inside the zone. Peter Bottom and Poyo filmed the same struggle. For a moment, one below the damage threshold. They quickly prop themselves back up, 89 above. Poyo looking towards the backside of zone, trying to get some easy damage. Peterbot on the hunt for some of his own. Almost bites off more than he could chew in that moment. But either way, Poyo was able to clean up at least one elimination and continue to build up on that Storm Surge. Only 3 players need to go down before it deactivates, but as they get eliminations, so do Cold and Rapid. There goes another one for Cold, adding to his total.
It's crazy, man. The amount of eliminations they managed to find in the end game is so impressive. And they're in the lead, mind you, right? So this is really going to give them that room to run away with it. When you start looking at players like Rapid, you know, FNCS championship under your belt is one thing, but having it on NA just hits a little different too.
Yeah.
So for some, they're looking to unify the belts. For others, they're trying to put the stamp on their name. And for folks like Curve, talk about really showcasing you're one of the greats now of the new era. But first, you got to do it. Rapid and Cold continuing to play the strat. Going for low ground front side here. Now, this time they do have low material count, so they will need a big refresh.
Which honestly doesn't worry me just one bit. Curve finds one though. They're on 8 eliminations already, continuing the pressure on the lobby. Absolute destruction here on NA, and really have to take note. If Venno finds himself in first place when the tournament is over, he will be a new 2-region champion, EU and NA Central. Arguably 2 of the hardest regions to win a championship on, but they still got a quarter of the tournament left to play. Tyler, forced by himself, loses chance. Backside of the zone, he's getting pressured by Jack, N-Pen, and a few other teams. Everybody forced to rotate in, finds a Fizz, trying to take advantage of that, but he runs into Peterbot and Poyo on the other side of the wall. Luckily for him, it looks like Peterbot and Poyo have their hands full, so they don't even look back. But as we tune back into Cold, he's by himself. No extra heals, no build. This is what the entire lobby needs to have a chance.
And they're only in top 20 right now, like barely holding on here. For Cold to fall, the runway really starts to become available now for everyone else. But look at this, Veno lost in the process. Curve forced to play high ground by himself. Meanwhile, Acorn and Bolts find a 2.
Oh my gosh.
Low, and then we jump right into Poyo, who also has a refresh of their own. And everyone is clawing back into this competition now.
Yeah, with first place gone, we got Curve by himself, we got Aegis Ritual, Acorn and Bolt, even Peterbot and Poyo, that all could be our first place team after this.
Oh, they got high! They got high!
Big Elim up towards the top, Peterbot and Poyo, they send it up towards height, give themselves a huge advantage, and another 4 points for those eliminations, even more with the placement as it comes in. Down below, the counterpart, Aegis and Ritual still running wild. 5 eliminations of their own, they have pizza, they have splashes, they have materials on top, so they don't even necessarily need an elimination.
You line it up, they will knock it down. Bolts and Acorn here, 4 eliminations now on the low ground. Peterbot and Poyo, we already know, have solidified that high ground position. Bolts just continue to do what he does best. That's a monstrous refresh, and he picks up everything here.
Acorn down.
Just living off the siphon, but no, Acorn gets caught there by Javi and a minute. Tyler still holding on here as well.
This guy's dead. Yeah.
Into top 5. When we last checked,
Okay.
20th place.
I think this game finally going to win Poyo and Peterbot, right? I hope.
Javi and a minute here, full duo versus, of course, Peterbot Poyo. Pressure from the top. It's not looking too good here.
Yeah, Bolt's just getting pressure from all angles. Both of the duos sandwich him, eat him alive, but there comes the drop down coming in. Peterbot realizing it's going over recycled builds. They can maintain their presence, but a blessing for them is the same blessing from down below. Javi and Aminish are able to utilize that same scenario, and rightfully so. Look at their material count monster. They were almost out of mats altogether.
No.
Yeah, Peterbot knows what to do here. He's just got to keep that relentless pressure coming down. Hopefully he can pull for the win. But Javi comes up, finds a little cheeky angle from the side there, but he's got no mats. Peterbot also punished too. Aminish's got nothing, but Poyo's coming down to finish the job. Peterbot's already got the full conclusion there, and now
okay, it's a 2v1. Come on.
2v1.
Yeah, basically, Javi's living on borrowed time here. He might know it as well. No extra material. Zone pulling on over. Yes, he can farm up a little bit.
It's over for him, Bang. It's over for him. GG's.
They're going to melt through those builds, and that's why you see layer by layer, Peterbot and Poyo dropping down. They just don't want to take any big risk here because they know this one is definitely in the bag. 9 eliminations so far, and if they're able to clean this one up, get that elimination onto Javi, this could be a double elimination victory royale.
Nice, GG's. Finally, they won at least they won one game. Finally. Holy God.
But the biggest question that was remaining.
Oh my. Hi, you. Good morning. Good morning. What do you mean good morning?
And at a better game, right? When you have Cold and Rapid there, Jacob.
You.
That right there is going to conclude game number 9 now. Peterbot and Poyo Zeke finally
It's. Don't tell me you.
It's happening.
Oh gosh.
Peterbot Poyo. Okay. Everything.
What the hell?
It's happening. We knew it was gonna happen.
Wait. I want to check my game. Bro, you are still in game?
Game number 9. They finally decide.
Are you not going to work today?
We've been quiet. We've been under the radar. We've been consistent, but on the
Bro, shut up. I know.
We're gonna perfectly overdrive all the way up into height. We're gonna shut that down, take that over, and you know what, Zeke? We're gonna get ourselves a victory royale. Kelly, they're doing it. It's happening. It's happening.
You know, they say that there's 2 inevitabilities in life: death and
What happened?
in the final games. It is just inevitable. Peterbot and Poyo, we've seen them do it time and time again. The narrative has popped up time and time again. They're washed. It's over. Peterbot's done. And then they wrap up day 1. Always still in the top 10, by the way. But day 2 is where they come show how they do it time and time again. Peterbot doing this crazy height steal to go onto Curve, who was a solo core guy, had no chance when you have Peterbot and Pollo flying up to the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's kind of the conversation amongst us saying, yeah, you know, they've been pretty quiet this grand, and they really haven't. I mean, their best placement was a 5th place. We're used to seeing these guys just win games, take high ground convincingly, and it just has not happened.
Finally, they won at least one game, bruh.
Games, even they weren't having those performances that we're used to seeing out of them. They were still in like 6th place going into that game, right? Just close enough the first place.
Finally,
like, okay,
they won at least one.
It's possible for them to kind of catch back up. You know, there's like,
what about
they're just always flying around, always buzzing around.
Okay.
And then it happens. They win the game. It's like we literally brought it to fruition by seeking it into
Look at his face. Look at the
back. They win the game, and I saw how many points they have. I can't wait to see the leaderboard after we come back.
Oh, Vivid, you stole what I was going to say. 485 points. We knew going into that Cold and Rapid had 446. But where did they end? Have they overtaken that #1 spot?
that. Oh, I'm not crazy.
Go anywhere. We'll see you right after this.
Bro, I'm not crazy, yeah? Okay, wait. I want to check that. Wait. Refresh. Oh my god, the top one! Holy shit! No! Bro, they're top 1, finally! Oh my god, they're top 1. Oh, thank god. Oh my god, it's a freaking 10 kill enemy. Is he watching my live stream? What? Is he watching my live stream? What the fuck? Okay, we need one more win with 10 kills, okay? Or we need another win, second place with 11, at least 11 or 10 kills, okay? Please, if you guys did that, that's mean. Yeah. Oh my god, I don't have words, man. Wow, it's crazy. Hey, what happened to Clicks and Higgs? Oh fuck, no way. Shit. Well, that's not good. Not good looking for them. Are they? 312. Oh no. What about enough? 24. Shit. Would cook. Must 8. I hope they will get another win. I'm talking about Peterbot and Poi, okay? I hope in next game too, they will win in next game too. So yeah. And what about and Veno? They have 57 eliminations and 12th place. 17th, 39 eliminations, 42 elimination. How many eliminations? Oh my, 47 eliminations. Nice. So like 57, 47, like a 10, like, you know, there's a 10 elimination gap. So yeah. God, that's crazy. Like 1 and 10. Oh no, Clicks. Come on, bruh. Nah. That's oh shit. I forgot the way Latin. But they got two wins in day 1, but yeah. That's how Fortnite work. Like not only the wins, we also need kills and placement. That's how you can get into top top in the leaderboard. So yeah. Top now, not top on the leaderboard. Sorry, my bad. Sorry about my grammar. Okay.
It's time to get active. Of all times, Kelly. Now of all times, Kelly. Now.
Hey.
This is when they always do it. They always like to build a little bit of a story because we
guys,
go into every
are you
game
good?
thinking that Peterbot and Pollo are gonna run away with it. And that's just boring, right?
Guys,
Zeke? So instead,
Guys,
they make everyone
how you
sweat a
doing?
little bit. They have a little bit of a struggle through
Yeah,
day
we are good.
one,
We are good.
and then it's day 2 in the second half of day 2 where they really start to
Well, sorry
show
about my,
everyone
like, you know,
why they
that
are the demons
crash,
of
the
North
crash
American
thing.
Central. Peterbot and Pollo now with just a 6-point lead over Curve and Venno. But more importantly, Vivid, I'm looking at Cold and Rapid dropping down. But again, that drop is not that far.
All of these teams are close enough. I mean,
Oh,
30 points
she's
separates
saying
first
CEO,
and
no?
5th place. But I mean, Peterbot and
Okay.
Pollo, it may have taken 9 games for them to finally go
See,
ahead and
girl.
take that throne up there in the #1 spot on the leaderboard. But from an individualistic standpoint, Peterbot is still playing like we're used to him saying. Like, I'm looking at the damage dealt over the course of these 9 games. He's currently at 8,300. In second place right now is actually Azures with 7,300. So Peterbot's 1,000 damage dealt ahead, and that's exactly what we are kind of used to seeing. Sure, he's getting beat out right now by the
Oh,
likes
sorry,
of, you know,
wrong emote.
Azures, Curve,
My bad,
Venno,
wrong
in the
emote.
elims category, but he's still up there with those guys, top 4 in individual elims. These guys are doing good. All of a sudden, finally they get that win, and now they're at the top.
But it's so
I just
laggy.
Can't believe it.
I mean, my
it's
game is so laggy.
The story is what it's gonna be, and of course, right now is when Peterbot and Pollo decide to pull out a win and take over the #1 spot. But let's start to look at this top 3, right? Curve and Venno. We see them in this last game get a 12th with 8 elims, right? And it's funny because Levin joins our call and he's like, "Oh man, that's crazy. That Venno guy. Where's that Venno guy from? He's from NA, right?" We're just like, "Okay, buddy. Okay, Levy Poo. Oh man, these guys are going crazy. 57 eliminations, Kelly. You called out a number not that long ago on the over on EU what their record was. We're right there. We're right there with 3 games left to go."
Yeah.
That is right. And we can imagine that if a little misstep happened over here with Venno, if that misstep did not happen, that they would probably even have more eliminations, if not win that game. But unfortunately, Venno did go down to this right here. However, Curve was able to hold the high ground for just a little bit, but once some of the other teams noticed that Curve was a solo on high ground, obviously it was going to be stolen. But regardless, still having that many eliminations is going to keep them up in our leaderboard. Vivid, we're going to ignore them, okay?
Levy Poo is wild, by the way, Zeke. But I mean, yeah, the standings are just going absolutely crazy. It would be a lot different right there if Venno did not get bumped off of the high ground. He's going to be kicking himself for that one. But close on their heels, man. You know, I talked about this 1st through 5th place, only separated right now by 30 points. Cold and Rapid, for the first time, we kind of see them slip out of that top 2 spot. It's been a while since we have not seen them towards the top. Rough little go for them in that game right there, but still, here's the crazy thing. All 5 of these teams going into the last 3 games, any one of them could win it.
Yeah, I mean, even look at Agers and Ritual, right? 467, right behind Cold Rapid, a single point. Even Acorn and Bolts, 455. And Acorn and Bolts get a 3rd place, 5 elims in that game, right? Like, this is absolutely going to come down to the wire. Right now, there is no clear in a way like, hey, you know, this team is ahead by 100 points and they're just flying. It's like every team right now on NA in this top 10 is shining, right? For different reasons and at different times. So I'm almost wondering, like, now that all of these trios or duos, excuse me, in the top 5 are firing on all cylinders, where do we go from here, Kelly? Where do we go with 3 games left?
I mean, for Acorn and Bolts, I think that today, for the start of day 2, it was a little bit rough. We saw them only place out of 11th yesterday, and then today starting it off, getting a 12th and then a 32nd place. And we actually saw them for the first time getting storm damage, which they didn't take out all for day 1. So obviously having these tiny changes that we've already seen them make and now seeing them back in the leaderboard, Vivid, that's what I want to see out of Acorn and Bolts.
Yeah, would love to see them kind of make some sort of resurgence, but no time to talk. I'm excited. I want to get back into the game.
Okay. Game number.
Jacob PR, MDF. We got a competition.
We have 3 more games, so yeah, game number 10.
We definitely do. And I mean, we have the best jobs in the world. We get to sit here and watch this go down in real time. Y'all see it in about 3-minute delay, Jacob, but my gosh, it is so good right now.
No, it's definitely been exciting for sure. Our last 3 FNCS majors before this were decided by 4 or less eliminations. Yeah, the point is a little bit more spread than that, but the way this one is edging out to be, we got another photo finish on our hands. I'm strapped up, ready to go. I'm literally at the edge of my seat right now.
Yeah, that's right. You know, my attention is really starting to shift towards that top 6. We are looking at a 50-point difference between 6th and 1st place. Hobby and Aminish, one of the most underrated teams now, are somehow finding themselves in the conversation for a championship run, and no one is playing perfect so far. But I hear the battle bus, so let's see it one more time.
There's no sound now. Eh?
3 games left, Monster. Just 3 games remaining in this tournament. And already for the last 3 games
Really?
that we've seen that leaderboard shuffle up so much, from Cold and Rapid being in first, Curve and Veno having a chance, to now Peterbot and Poyo being on top.
Oh, it's
And even
okay,
that
okay.
race at the bottom for the love of the
Okay.
top 13, 2 points separates going to Dusseldorf and having to go and try one more time.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. Teams like Clicks and Higgs now are suddenly finding themselves in a whole different type of scenario, right? Where they have to fight for being in the top 13 at this point. Trying to get the championship win is starting to be pushed out of the question. Curve and Veno, though, switching up their strategy a bit, opting to go a little bit more aggressively to the north side, trying to see maybe if there was something here to be, of course, earned. But look at this, finds a little Llama. You happy about that one?
I'll go.
Was Curve contested, or did he get those out of the sky? That's just my biggest question.
I don't know.
Yeah, either way, it's just a testament of, like, whether it's the beginning, middle, or end of these games. I don't know what they ate for breakfast, but I need to order me 2 of those, because they are just firing on all cylinders. QK, Contrap, they had such a great moment to end the day yesterday. Most of us didn't even know where he came from. That first place 8 eliminations that bursted them inside of the bubble. Today, however, hasn't necessarily been going their way, but they are still so close to contention. They just need to close out strong.
You know, what I'm thinking about is Veno and Curve. Veno's probably telling Curve, like, bro, be on the lookout. Do not be surprised if Peterbot and Poyo land this, you know? Because their drop is technically big enough. And if you know Veno, he's got that main character energy, right? So does Peterbot. Like, Peterbot, the way he treats Clicks in a finals or any other rivalry that's neck to neck, he will definitely land on someone like Veno as well, just because the storyline will be so exciting to watch. And they're all that close right now.
Yeah, 20. Neko just trying to go ahead and get out of a bad spot. Both of them kind of separated. Like, Flex got a good opportunity here. Took too long to go ahead and execute on that chance, so they're going to be forced to disengage as Neko reunites along with 20, trying to push them back further and further. And that's the thing about these split drops, to where if you don't go ahead and get those eliminations on the contested drop, it makes finding that loot that much harder. Mako blanks, going ahead and pressing on to Mus outside of the Riptides. They have a good 2v1 opportunity here, but they're continuously trading shots. Mus not going down without a fight. Another chance there as he lands another big tag, 26 HP. Even the knock on the blanks, he has a chance to 2v1.
Shit, he's
In
cooked.
comes Liquid, his duo finally arrives.
Oh,
He gets
another
that
team.
elimination,
Oh
but
my.
the party does not stop
There's
here.
another team.
Prince and Veer, who were once inside of the bubble, fell out, are ready
It's a fourth
to
party?
make up for
I don't
those
know.
mistakes
The third?
early on.
No,
They have
not
the
third
Fizz,
party,
they
right?
have the Shockwave. They're trying to close the gap.
I don't know.
figure out exactly where
yeah,
he
it's a third
went.
party.
Heard
Sorry.
the noise onto Mako, so they're just going to drop down and try to clean up this even.
Yeah, doing a great job chasing them down right now. Veer's got full sights here. Threat's got control.
Yeah, he's cooked, bro. He's dead. He's dead.
Should be another tag, and unfortunately they don't quite find it, but this is still great damage, and they want these points right there. Again, found themselves in the top 10 and then fell within around that 15 place
We're at
range
4 points.
after slipping out. So Veer and Threat still have some big games to be out here.
Another team. Oh my gosh.
Riptides, though.
It was like,
Got Nick and Skinny Cat.
oh my god. What's going on here?
Kind of gave up positioning, chasing for that Elim. Then you have Mus and Liquid on the other side of Riptide. So even though they were able to get the couple of eliminations there, I don't think they advanced their position all too much. Higgs and Clicks, they get the legendary drop this time out of Wonky Land. Better chance at those rare chests, more gold. And already at their POI, they almost get maxed mats at that mini game. They have the wonky wheel, so they have everything they need in terms of finding success.
Bro,
And
what is
early
this
on,
skin,
obviously,
bro?
it is only the first zone. It seems like it is moving on over the western side of the map.
Serious, what is this skin?
Last time we saw them pull a zone like this, though, Jacob, they did win the game, right? If it came this way.
Higgs on Higgs. Right here.
Calling on some connects here to try to make something big happen at this point.
Rabbit and Cole ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ normal spot එකේ height like search tower එකක්
You
හදාගෙන
getting
ඉන්නවා.
that feeling of deja vu at all? I can agree. They're not changing up their strategy. They don't even go underneath Dark Dominion unless they have to. Cold just kind of builds up towards the top. Not only does he have to aim with those shotguns, he's going to be the primary source of finding their surge. Rapid, the big
Not gonna lie,
brain,
they're
the IGL
collecting a lot
this
of
team so
material
far has been
from the.
rotating them very,
I
very
mean,
well in
I'm talking
a
about
good
hard
portion
material,
of
okay,
the
like
games, but the
metal
last 6
and
rounds,
yeah, got
those are gonna be the ones
metal
that
and
have the
wood.
most 10 plays,
Not
4
wood,
eliminations,
but
17
yeah, metal.
plays with 1 eliminations, kind of giving up that top spot on the leaderboard.
මේ කවුරු හරි දන්නවද හොඳ මේ මොඩල් එකක් හදාගන්න තැනක් මේ no 2D මොඩල් එකක් okay 3D නෙවෙයි 2D මොඩල් එකක් හදාගන්න තැනක්
Rotate for them right now, but they're close to this Dark Dominion, so I am curious.
I need 2D model right now. I'm not right now. Yeah, I need one. I need one.
They've almost
Oh,
continued to position
oh.
themselves around some of that.
Oh, I need a good 2D model.
Position up on the standings. Acorn and
That's
Bolt
the
on the other
two
side.
thing I
Bolt
need.
is very situated right now.
Yeah, I think he looks down towards Wonky Land, but you can kind of see that big base over towards the Ferris wheel. It's fully blocked off for that direction, so no easy peeks from there. Has to look elsewhere, over towards Latte Landing though, where Power and Penta make themselves known. At the Reek and Cooper drop spot, back on over towards that launch pad, typically where the primary source of rotation
Nice.
goes through. Cooper down below, tries to go for a cheeky shot onto Power.
Ooh.
He regrets that one momentarily. Pressure continues to fly his way.
Reed
He
and-
was able to
Reed-
find an
Reed
opening
Cooper
onto Power,
and-
gets the shield gone just like that. But they're just taking so
කවුද
much
අනිත්
damage
කට්ටිය?
from the storm itself. Yeah, they have
Power
to
and,
save lives, seal up with those flashes, 'cause they were one
I
shot
can't
away from
even
going down.
read the other person name, but
Separates them from the top 13 lane spot right now.
anyway.
Cannot afford to fall here.
ඒගොල්ලෝ පැන්න ඇතනින් ඒක හොඳයි නැත්නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ කනවා අනිවාර්යෙන්ම.
But at what cost? You saw them again healing a bunch, so we can't even tell if they're actually out positive after this exchange right here.
Oh, they're following,
They
they're
don't wanna
chasing,
cut
but
the elimination code for free.
oh
They get
my.
the good damage onto Power. the
Oh yeah, it's a
shockwave,
free
they
kill, of
fizz,
course,
they
it's a
close
free
the
kill.
distance, and now they get the knock. Instead of cleaning up instantly, they know they're going to take damage from the storm. Let the Siphon do its thing. Reed's going to go on the chase. Sees Penta trying to run away, and he's just
Okay,
trying to
oh,
follow
nice.
suit. Only thing is, he only has 1 shockwave left, so yep, he's going to have to use the fizz to really make that shockwave worth it. Getting up on top of that mountain. That's going to give him a huge bird's eye view to try to figure out where Penta actually ran to. Spots the builds in the distance, safe landing into the water. But he is so far away from Cooper now, that gives Penta a 1v1 if he could just figure out it actually is a 1v1.
There's no way. He's
He's
off.
going
He's
back
already
to-
going right back to the bodies, thinking that they
Oh
can't
shit,
get
that's
them.
not good, but
Cooper's here,
that's not a good
waiting to catch him.
decision.
More good damage here. Now this is starting to track what seems to be other duos here in the area that are just going to stick into their.
Oh, he took the jeez.
There it is. Finally, they clean things up here at the Latte Landing. It'd be a great two-piece.
Bro, who the
elimination,
hell is that
giving them that
freaking
little bit of cushion that they were
bird?
looking for here. They're not quite safe again inside the top 13 just yet, but they are there now after the 8 points they earned there. Meanwhile, Visual and Braids, what is this? This is a completely different strat.
Even got me shaking my head, scratching it, trying to wonder what went wrong. Typically, we see a team like this spread out on these mountain ranges that you see there in the mini-map, and that's how they get a lot of their serves. This time around, maybe trying to wait for somebody to lurk in late, find something. Hopefully, they make a mistake. Timing, if it doesn't work out, though, might put them behind the rest of the curve as QK and Khan find themselves an elimination over here towards Painted Palms. Instead of going on a wild goose chase, though, they're going to let that solo player run away. Maybe they could turn back and get the elimination later. We know we're going to go for a reboot eventually. But for QK and Khan, man, this is going to be a good start to the game. Get that damage early. And once you got that Storm Surge damage early, it kind of opens up flexibility to be able to focus on the rotation instead of just getting damage.
Yeah, talk about those eliminations too. I'm gonna be keeping close eyes on Visuals and Breeds too, because like you said, that is such a massive risk for them to take here, waiting inside the base, hoping to ambush someone. And then you look at the map, look at how much distance there is between other players. It, again, from here looking at it, might not pay off. We'll just have to see. Peterbot Boya, though, back to the same trusty strategy, keeping this huge surge tower. This just seems to work out a lot better for them, and then pushing teams that they tend to weaken on the way. There's an Adrian, one of the few down here at the Dark Dominion. So we saw them rotate past this. They didn't go around to actually contest Cold or Rapid, of course. Shots coming in from Peterbot's duo up top.
Yeah, they spotted that one out quick. Saw the surge base, saw the window open. Unlike some of the other surge bases where there is no top on their base, you can kind of, you know, crouch, uncrouch, peek over, not really give yourself away. But Peterbot built it in a way to where it's impossible to get shockwaved on for free. So usually we always talk about Peterbot and Boyo hunting teams down. I'm getting in the back of my head. Maybe they're prepared if worse comes to worse. That happens to them. They are the team to beat after 8 games so far. I should say 9 games. We're here in game 10. Let's see if that lead goes away. Muzz and Sphinx over towards Humble Hills. Zone moving on over towards Squibbly Shores. We talked about last time Clicks and Higgs had a zone move over in this favor. I think everybody here on this side of the map has just been gifted a little bit of opportunity, which includes Muzz and Sphinx, who's currently positioned 8th on the leaderboard.
Done really good today too. 2nd place in that first game, 12th and then a 10th, right? So a lot of in-game appearances so far for Muzz and Sphinx. Bucky and Zen. So on pace right now.
Ooh.
Great opportunity here to find some casualties from that prom.
Buggy and Send තියෙන හොඳ
Coming in shortly, so
මේ එකක්
gonna
I
be
mean
great work of this team here.
place එකක්
And get going
in
themselves.
you know හොඳ angles එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ තනිය.
You know,
Actually,
watching this
the-
time,
actually,
you gotta
like,
have a
map pick a
lot of
method.
patience, 'cause there's a lot
So,
of
yeah.
moments to where you typically would think, I
Bueno,
gotta
and,
rotate to zone,
co-
I don't want to take the damage, I want to beat other teams there, but sometimes it's just more beneficial, especially if you have the white HP heals, to go ahead and just bide for your time. Let the storm do its thing, force other players at their hands, depending on what situation they're in. Especially if you have a little bit more control of your games. Curve and Veno, a different approach already. You know, in the last couple games, we see them very, very early on try to be the team on the high ground and really condition the rest of the lobby. This time around, just like we saw Visuals and Braids, taking a whole different
Oh my.
approach. Slowing things down and just minimizing the risk of them actually getting eliminated.
They do already have 2 eliminations too, so they're feeling pretty good about their overall damage. But as we start talking about the way this zone played out, it's gonna be Clicks and Higgs who have this monstrous base set up here at the Wonky Land, as the zone has favored them for quite some time here. And with this plenty of extra heals to work with as well, so he's gonna have to pick and choose here what they want to take on the road with them.
Actually, they don't know what they need. Higgs and Higgs still they have
Pulling towards the
312
south.
points.
They have their wonky, they have their
And
combination of
yeah,
both Fizz and the Shockwave to really dodge a lot of the teams at the earlier portions of that zone, kind of move out of render distance, make it easier for them to move in. And you see the zone is kind of pulling off the shores of Squibbly over into more of the mainland. And this is where you do have a few different mountain ranges that will be in play. So rotations being quick, that is of the essence here. And that's where you see now, for all those other players that have waited until this zone to try to move their way in, you're seeing Cold and Rapid, they're pulling that edge of the zone. Instead of going straight in, they know this side of the map is more than likely uninhabited by a lot of the players, so they're just going ahead, taking a slow approach.
It's a
yet
2D, right?
again.
Yeah, it's a
They don't
2D.
seem to be in a worry, and they don't seem to be desperate to make any big plays.
Yep, and they got little bushes to play with as well here. So with the zone coming back their way, look at that. They have a nice little ambush set up there. Lots of teams rotating in. Peterbot still finds himself safe in the positioning here. So long as they found their damage, they'll be just fine. Agers and Ritual haven't really moved either since rotating their last position here. They're only
83
8 overall,
above.
So this is a much more precarious situation to be in.
Yeah. They need
It
more.
might look good. It might look good now with the damage being above the threshold, but you know as well as I do, the way that some of these games have been going, you'll be above in one zone and then instantly fall below in the next. Just, we need to get down to a certain minimum of players for each and every one of these zones as the game does progress until it eventually does turn off down to 40 players overall. So they're really playing tiptoeing with that line when it comes to Surge, Cold, and Rapid. Similar situation, only
Oh my.
143
That-
above.
that-
It's not
okay,
easy
that's
for them
not
to rotate
beat,
from
bro.
point A to point B. About 30 damage is
whoa.
going to get taken off of that Surge.
Oh,
Thing to note though, they were max material coming out of that storm there, so they are in a prime position here. Don't let that material count fool you. They are getting late into the end game here. A little bit of storm pull luck here, and you'll be in a great spot to be in. Overall, though, Peterbot and Boyo, the same can be said for them. They have this high ground base. They've had the zone this entire time. They're finding a tremendous amount of damage from this advantageous spot, and now they get to shockwave out and play into the Dark Dominion. So this is actually Cold and Rapid's draw spot. And again, normally when you get the drop, obviously we've seen those teams turn these opportunities, if you will, into huge wins, if not better. But again, that is to be determined, as now we're starting to push that end game. Venno and Curve, no pressure so far. They've just been sitting on the vending machine trying to see if anyone was willing to come this way. Clearly,
Oh my.
some people got a little too close to the fire and got burnt here. It's Magma and G Monster. This is another Venno and Curve elimination onto the same team. They just can't catch a break from them.
Yeah, and I know the game's still going on, but with those eliminations there, they take first place in the tournament. Placement points haven't
So
set
close.
in. It's going to continue to jumble, but it goes to show how close the leaderboard actually is through and through.
Oh my god, what the hell is that kill?
Just finding opportunity after opportunity, and it's on to Veer. That is going to be a
That's a
heartbreak right
freaking
there.
crazy
His threats
kill.
cannot clutch out some good points in this game. He is only 4 points away from that bubble.
Yeah, they were doing so well after finding those 2 elims, and now lose your teammate kind of here is going to be that much more tougher. Well, you have to make at least 20 or 30 points. As we were jumping away, I think I saw Venno find another elimination there too, so the rotates are clearly working well. Yep, here it is. We get to jump in with that. They're at 5 elims now, Jacob. Things are just starting to get really pieced together for them. Take a look here. They find a lobby focus onto Jack. They get the elim credit. It just can't work any better for them now. So all that matters here for them is just going to be key positioning, playing for the end game. No one's in that base up top either.
They want to be a kill MVP right here. Venno and Curve, they need to MVP from kills.
Barely holding on to us. They found themselves only 20 above. I see Clicks and Higgs there in the distance too. Meanwhile,
But 1,000 up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, to start the game,
Wha-
Venno and
1,000
Curve,
wa-
off-spawn elims, put
Oh
them in
my
first.
god.
Peterbot gets an elim, they
Holy.
take first back. Venno and Curve get a couple more elims that pushes them in first, and
Oof.
now they take it
Oof.
right back. We're literally ping-ponging as this game goes
What
on.
about,
First
Clicks and
second
Higgs?
Place, but you still got Cold Rapid, Agers, and Ritual. Acorn and Bolt
Oh.
all still in the mix, so you can't forget about Clicks and Higgs. All it takes is one moment to catch fire in these next 3 games to really kind of shut everything up.
I didn't see the
mask.
mask.
Chaos. They got the purple AR. They
Like,
got
you know,
Slap
last few
Pizza, they got
minutes, I
Fizz,
didn't-
they got
I didn't-
Shockwave, they got all
I didn't see the
resources
what
necessary to
Mask
have a good
doing.
game here. But the zone might play a huge role depending on where it goes. I see it moving towards the south. We're going back in.
Okay,
into
Bucky
Dominion.
and
So even though we got those buildings we
I don't
need to
know
worry about,
who is the
it's
other
not
one.
as drastic
They're trying to get a
as
hide.
North Pole and all those mountain ranges.
Jacob, I also saw Visual and Brave still alive as well. So
And
it
Clicks and
seems
Higgs
like
also
their
trying to get
risky
high.
Play did pay off there in the bottom right there, still fully healthy. Clicks and Higgs opting to go for high ground here once again. This time, as early as the 8th zone, while teams are playing pretty close to second height. So this is extremely risky. Hobby in a minute in the game as well.
Oh, enough is there.
Clicks with the big elim onto enough there. He doesn't get too risky either, right? He
Oh,
allows
Peter was
the
also
people
trying to get
fall,
high
comes to back
from
up his
side.
teammate Higgs here up
From
top.
side.
It's Bucky and Zen who are trying to fight for it though.
Oh, pull it
This
down.
is another reason
What?
why I think it's just a little bit too early sometimes.
No,
They
that's
go
not
up
good.
goes down only because of material, but it's because of everybody sending it up
Bro,
above. You
Poyo
said
is
you saw Poyo
down.
There's a lot of pressure here on the Peterbot to maintain their position on the leaderboard. Quickly peeks up, steals some of that loot away. Curve and Venno are on the other side, literally first in place, staring at each other through the wall.
Holy.
I think Peterbot knows that danger's around the corner, tries to go
Ooh,
up,
nice.
halfway
Oh my
above, makes
gosh.
the play onto Zen. Nobody does that as a solo, and he's even backing down Bucky. They have the
Oh my.
confidence to go up, the challenge Clicks and Higgs, but now it's falling short with Peterbot storming him down.
Just doesn't get better, you know. He's just sticking to the game plan. He's like, you know what? We want to come into these games and play for high ground. It's what's going to open up positioning for me. I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
Oh, no, 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 no,
The same
no.
strategy too.
Bruh.
Tries to bail off, of course, but it's not going to be enough. Clicks has just got his number this time.
This is an opening
That
curve, and
freaking
Venno
sneaky
needed.
rat.
Bolts is by himself down below. Acorn is gone as
no.
well. Another
Too
top
early.
team sent back to the lobby. Not only Curve and Venno's chance to increase that lead for first place, even with Cold and Rapid still alive, but for Clicks and Higgs to play catch up here. They have the high ground. A lot of the teams are already out of their path, but another one sends it towards the north. Another team is trying to battle up above for the high ground. Meanwhile, Cold and
I hope
Rapid
they will
let
not go
all the
back,
dust settle.
go
You guys
down.
can
I
have
mean,
it up above.
no.
We'll smoothly walk through that finish line.
Don't
Don't forget,
I'm talking
Javi and
about
Venice were in 6th
clicks
place
and
coming into this.
not
They
clicks.
have a
I'm talking
chance to
about
fight for first as well,
Peterboard
they're
and
trying to
for
just show us that they have life in them as they go up, but Clicks and Higgs is willing to battle it back on over into their head. They're really just wrestling for high ground right now, and it's cost them so much material. Clicks and Higgs have almost given away the win condition at this point if they can't catch this refresh.
Yeah, you see Curve and Veno just waiting in the shadows
So smart.
for a moment just like this. Everything up above is expended, but they're actually looking down below. Look at the material count, the lack of resources. They might have what they need to take the high ground, so Clicks and Higgs have to give it up. Hoppy in a menace. You said it yourself. From top 6 to start this game, this is their chance to increase their positioning, but Veno's backs up against the wall. 6 builds, tries to find his way to the front side of zone while using the bare minimum. Curve ends up in a scuffle against Clicks. No builds left. He's going to have to reposition, and now Clicks is by himself.
Clicks,
2
yeah.
HP. A quick peek from Veno. He returns back to the scene of the crime to take down his former teammate.
Unfortunately, he did lose Curve in the process. He finds Prom here as a solo, but no, Nut comes to back him up, and then he has to back off here completely. Look at this. Veno didn't even get to pick up any mats either. So now he's down to 4 builds. But hey, look, inside the top 10 now, still earning points, but you have Cold and Rapid making up for time lost. But Veno's still going. Down goes Taki too. And now he's at 9 eliminations here, Jacob.
This is a legacy at its finest.
Oh, Matt's
Veno
still
was really
alive.
trying to put on not only for himself, not only for Curve, but the entire EU region, saying, hey, look, it could be that easy. Cold and Rapid, though, still a big pain in their side, but Rapid goes down. Muzz and Sphinx drop down from above. This is literally chaos at its finest.
This is crazy. The points here being added up. Meanwhile, Veno's just soaking up placement points because the lobby's doing the hard work for him. And he goes into monstrous shot onto Ritual. Oh my gosh. Veno just continues to do it time and time again. And don't count him out just yet. That's another huge shot. The Fullberry miss drops too. Can he get some time to pop it? There it is.
Bro,
Tries to break out
what?
through the top. Look at
Okay.
the game sense, the awareness to break out of the
Like
dangerous
6, 7, 8,
player.
9, 10.
Veno
Like
is firing on
it's
all
11
cylinders right
kills,
now, and he
12
is still
kills.
going.
I can't believe what we're witnessing. Veno is taking over in this endgame, but he has to be careful. The only solo
Wait.
left is
No, what?
for a finish on the other side. A huge shot's gonna be fired. A Minish goes down. It's a 2v1 monster.
How is he still doing it? How is he managing to earn these points? He's trying to get it back in blood. He might actually get this elimination here too. Zipta falls down.
No.
Points all week, and he gave us the performance.
Oh my
we
god,
were
what the
looking
hell
for
is
this,
that?
Jacob. My gosh.
Oh my gosh, Monster! I needed a moment to breathe there. My heart.
Imagine
is
if he
pounding.
won
I'm not
that.
even playing in this game, but Veno came to NA. He is taking over.
Oh
He
my.
picks up Curve, and this team is a bulldozer in these NA lobbies.
Okay, I
They're
want to see the
single-handedly
leaderboard now.
taking down
Oh
top
my god,
team
leaderboard back
after
to
team
top
by
4.
themselves, but Zypto,
Nah,
Void,
way.
they deserve all the praise in the world, Zeke.
Shit, bro, it's
I
My
am at a
God.
loss for words.
oh my god, bro.
Obviously, we want to talk about Veno, but we
68
need to highlight Zypto
kills.
and Void. Oh my gosh, the chaos that was that game.
My god.
And literally, Veno is just mowing down players
Whoa.
left and right. And at the very end, it is a 2v1. Zypto Void, they take advantage of that, right? They say, hey, look, if it's just you, even gods can bleed sometimes. We'll walk away with the victory royale, 219 points. These guys are looking to secure themselves a spot going to the summit with only 2 games left to go. This puts them in a really good spot, Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, considering how crazy the low ground was, to have a full duo in that moment, being able to take on Veno, I mean, 6 eliminations, definitely going to help them up the leaderboard. But my goodness, that looked like that could have been a 1v2 in Veno's favor. But again, shout outs to that duo for getting the 9th, or the 10th VR of our
That one was close. What a nail biter for the duo. Yeah, they were kind of just hanging out, right? We saw how many solos there were in that lobby, and amongst all of the chaos, amongst Veno just mowing down all the lobby, that duo there at the end, they just get to kind of look up and like, wait, where'd everybody else go? Right? We only got one player to take out for the win. All of a sudden, they go ahead, they clutch it up, they take the win as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that win right there shakes up the leaderboard.
Oh man, we're gonna go to a break. When we return,
Whew.
we are absolutely taking a look at Curve and Veno. That solo clutch was incredible. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Don't you go anywhere.
Okay. Let's look at the leaderboard for a second. Yeah. Right now, Veron Curve is in the, who is in the top one, and Peterborough and Poyo top 4, and yeah, so they're top 21 and had 5 kills. They have only one match without any kills. But yeah, what about? Oh, they're still. Oh my. Bro, come on, Plagues. You guys need more kills. And we must. Oh, that's good. Must leaderboard climb karla ekuma guy. Peterborough and Power, of course. Come on, guys. Like they need like 60 more points. If they have 60 more, 60 or yeah, 65 more, yeah. So we have only 2 more games, so let's see. Anything can happen. Of course, anything can happen. Like anything can change in next second. Or
And I don't know how to feel about it.
You're not used to losing. Getting beaten?
Not like this. These players are just so locked in.
okay,
Could it be the milk?
give me a second. Give me a second, Charam. Okay.
Stay there.
Fortnite fan, we're just gonna get right into it. Veno and Carve, what the heck? Veno comes out.
Yeah, I'm back.
Game number 10 with one of the greatest solo
Whew.
clutches we have ever seen. Guys, look at this leaderboard. Peterbot and Poyo just got a VR last game, right? We thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Peterbot, Poyo, they're taking over. It's crazy. In a single game, Veno solo clutches here for a second place with 11 eliminations. Kelly Link, we are at 68 eliminations on the day.
I mean, and that is a solo clutch off of Curve and Veno having 8 eliminations before Curve went down. So it wasn't like it was just Veno in that game. But regardless, even with 8 eliminations, having Curve go down, Veno was not done yet. He is never done, Vivid. And to see him play that, for a second, I thought this was Game 11, Peterbot solo once again, because we've seen that in North America. But Veno wants to show that this is not just the NA show. EU is here to represent. And look at these eliminations, Vivid.
Insane. I mean, it's like he can't miss right now. If this guy has a shotgun out and there is somebody anywhere near him on his screen able to go ahead and hit, he's hitting
Bro,
the
that's
shot
shots.
every single time. And how chaotic some of these end games are. I mean, he is just switching layers when he needs to. He's using overdrive grenades to fly up, and even mid-air, opponents are moving, he's still hitting the shots. And everybody that was watching this must have believed that it was possible for him to win this 1v2, right? Like this, it looked like he was unstoppable. Everybody's like heart froze
My
for a second
God.
watching that right there. And I gotta tell you, the rest of the lobby right now is in absolute trouble. We kind of saw it after game number 7. We were like, wow, wait, whoa, whoa, these guys look absolutely different. Take a
But did
look
anyone say
at the
something, because I can't see anything
eliminations
in
over
my.
the course of the 10 games that we've witnessed. For Grand
You know
Finals
how
today.
to.
Veno is leading the pack with 37. What is
Wow,
possibly
31.
a little bit even more impressive is that his duo is right behind him with 31. This isn't like a solo show. I mean, obviously, yeah, the solo clutches came out, but they are both just performing on an incredible level right now, Kelly.
I for sure thought that production was wrong, that this was incorrect, and that they misplaced Curve's name. That is insane. These numbers represent everything, and I feel like I'm gonna have to add a 4th star to this airplane real soon.
What the hell?
Because this is what I want out of North American Central. And you know what? Maybe NA Central was
Bro,
getting
what's
a little
that?
bland, and you just gotta add a little bit of spice from EU, and that's what makes everything just taste so much better.
Whew. I am just shocked by what we just witnessed. We have 2 games left to go. Let's bring up those standings again. Wow. As we look at these standings as well, I mean, guys, even look from 1st to 5th, right? Only 75 points separating Curve and Veno from Javi and Aminish. I mean, I am just in awe. Again, this is why we call out, right? A single game of Fortnite can change everything, man. You just string together eliminations, the way Veno just did, even in 2nd place. You don't even need the Victory Royale. You can find yourself climbing the standings. Oh my gosh. Agers in Ritual as well. Look at this. Jumping up 2 whole placements right now, Kelly. Off of a 6th place with 7 elims. Now, Kelly, right now, more than ever, these eliminations are so critical. There's so many points locked behind these eliminations. That's what these players need to be targeting.
I mean, Agers and Ritual, like you said, they got 8th place with, or I'm sorry, they got 6th place with 7 eliminations. Cold and Rapid that game only went down in 8th. They only got 3 eliminations. And that is why Agers and Ritual are jumping up. Literally, you could be doing really well, making it to the end game, grabbing eliminations. But if you are not just pushing yourselves above just a little bit more than everyone else, that is literally going to be the difference of tens of thousands of dollars and being able to say that you are the best in North America Central.
As I've been wrapped up in the entertainment that we have been presented with this absolute domination, I blinked and I was like, wait a minute. We've played 10 games. There's only 2 games left. We are approaching that point now where it is possible that some of these other teams that are in the top 5 could potentially be thinking about, okay, listen, they're playing way too good right now. How do we stop them? I know we kind of talk about this a lot. We saw it on EU earlier. The attempt to potentially stop them early on. Does somebody have what it takes to land on Curve and Veno to stop what seems to be unstoppable?
Yeah.
He's speaking something into existence. Kelly, we saw this over in EU and it went a certain way. Do you think it's happening? Do you think it's happening in game 11?
No.
Probably not. But we can hope.
Probably not. Okay.
2 games left to go here before we say goodbye. I cannot believe what has transpired so far. With 2 games left to go, all of these dudes are thinking the same exact thing. How do we either get in the top 13 or fight
Please,
for that
Beatable
number
Empire,
1 spot?
please. Win one more
Casters,
game.
It is time. Game 11 is ready. Take it away.
Monster, I don't know if Curve and Veno will be contested off drop, but I don't think it's going to be a smart play, because something you notice first off is when they were the best team in some of these lobbies, it usually starts in the early game. On day 1, it was the mid and end game where they lacked a little bit of preparation, but now that that's solved, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to get Sky and scrolled here in game number 11. So let's see if things are getting hyped now.
Two games left, Monster. 2 exciting chances for anybody to rise up the leaderboards. And before this moment, we had a very, very close tournament, 6 points difference. But after Curve and Veno's just phenomenal solo play, they have almost a 50-point gap.
See, but that's the thing, you know, when you listen to Venno speak, he was actually saying Curve was due for the pop-off. Curve is going to have his moment. Little did we know the wolf was in sheep's clothing. He has been playing so crazy.
අම්මලා
It's looking
සිරුරු
like
එකපාරට ඇවිල්ලා ගහන
young
ප්‍රහමත් ඔතන.
Venno. The Venno that we knew to be one of the most dangerous fighters when he was up and coming. We're just seeing him just outperform like crazy right now. And you love to see it too, because it's well deserved. And the competition overall is extremely close. But okay, Jacob, let's get to some of this action here. Paper and Resi are still fighting for a qualification spot for themselves. That was a great two-piece elimination.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. That side of the map isn't necessarily my favorite. Whether you're contested, uncontested, or simply just win the fight doesn't make it any easier at all. Blake and Preston still on this side of the map. Going against the Tick and Mafia on the south side of the Frigid Fortress. Good damage onto Preston, though, giving a huge advantage on over to the other side. But Mafia has a huge chunk of HP missing as well. And this is where the lurks are starting to come in. But the longer you lurk, the longer you fight, those third parties will become a huge factor. Empen and Jack already making their way on over.
Yeah, Empen and Jack have been all over these fights here. They've had success. They've had some failures. So has Mafia. Looking Blake's perspective. Just kind of leaving this one out.
Oh no, he missed.
The most important shot though. Any little touch there, he could have sneezed on the Tick and it would have been a big up. And Preston didn't even see him run past him either, so they just seem to be a little out of it here for game number 11. And Pen and Jack not too content with the extra shots they're hitting inside of there. I think they learned a lesson last time. So they're off to disengage now.
Still got Scare and Osid at the actual Frigid Fortress just towards the north. They were the ones that, essentially the last ones standing after everything had settled, but just literally one room away. Preston and Blake, I have to imagine they know each other are here. Even the Tick as a solo, they only saw one elimination in the feed. Just about where is he at? And every single person in this scenario, Monster, is one shot away from going down or getting eliminated. And that's why you see the careful approach. But maybe Preston hears something on the other side of that wall. He's trying to tiptoe, take his time. There's a full window open, a clear shot. They double attack from both sides. That's actually a smart way to approach that from Preston and Blake.
I think Preston was looking through the cracks in the brick like, yep, I see an angle, bro. He's in here. Let's go for it. It ends up working out. Squibbly unlocked, of course, by Peterbot and Pollo. Let's see if they end up doing a big surge base or rotating out early. Try to get a fight for some surge. Maybe even some points, of course.
Well, they're going for fire.
Oh, they're going back to that strat where they just push Chris and Drew here, who are kind of based down right now.
Yeah, and honestly, unless you think something unordinary is going to happen with Venno going down early and a lack of eliminations, one of the big ways to come back, especially for a team like Peterbot and Pollo, is through eliminations here. You talked about it yourself. They fought this one before against Chris and Drew. They got in eliminations, but they've also went down or down to low HP, making the surge not necessarily work.
What happened to Pollo?
Another example, they're 100 damage gone just like that. Pollo having to slow things down, trying to heal up, but Peterbot's relentless pressure gets the double edits towards the top, forcing Drew to fall down yet another layer. But we've seen this happen a few times throughout the weekend. Eventually, Peterbot and Pollo do disengage. I'm not sure that's going to necessarily be the case. They trade shots again. Another 100 damage landing onto Pete.
Yeah, one thing Chris and Drew have done is play defense very, very well, right? Like, every time we've watched the spike go down, they actually haven't fully eliminated this team. They have managed to defend themselves more than well enough, and Peterbot and Pollo say, you know what? You got it, bruh. Once again, and they just give it to them because they know, too, that going back and forth is not worth it. They wait until they're ahead, and they say, all right, we're going to take the surge positive and dip out.
Sometimes you got to take the little victories. Hopefully they accumulate into a massive victory at the end of the game. So jump on board Threats and Beer. To start the day off, they were inside of that top 13. They slowly fizzled out, but as it stands now, 14th place, 264 points. 13th place is only 6 points away. So if they were able to clean up those eliminations, they would move inside of the bubble as the game does progress. On one side of the map, you can kind of see what is on the line for some of these players, and they're really just trying to put it all out there, and they leave no regrets left on the table. Carillion seems to be by himself. Not sure where Jargon's at. Possibly eliminated UK, but they break into the same box. UK almost goes down, but he's able to get the elimination onto Carillion and basically tell him what he really feels.
Yeah, I was trying to find Carillion on this stand.
Definitely is one of those
bubble area. You haven't had
had enough time to really focus in on their performances. But
Pushing
either
again.
way, getting eliminated now in game number 11 is going to be a massive setback for any team here now. Jumping back with this right here, Peterbot. Boy, I don't think I've
nice.
seen them actually fight Skittles' team
That's
at
a-
all. So Skittles somewhat caught out of position here and into the drop. Okay, this is exactly where Peterbot
nice.
wants to. They know they're not going to have teams here, not this early. Just like that, Skittles rotates out of one problem and into another one.
Ah, that's just unfortunate. Literally, Peterbot and Pollo went from finding Chris and Drew. I don't know why they disengaged, but Chris and Drew went one way, Peterbot went the other, and basically attacked two different players on one team, sent them right back to the lobby. Another heartbreak moment here in game 11, basically leaving it all to the 12th and final game for some of these teams that have been
Yeah.
eliminated early on. And as you can see, 74 players up, Monster. This one looking to move at a little bit of an accelerated fashion than some of the other games we've seen so far.
Okay, I did find Carillion and Jargle on the standings. They're actually in 13th, holding the line with 270 points there, Jacob. Now, the jump above them is Rhea and Cooper, who have a 30-point cushion, it seems like, for 12th. But it is super close from basically that line up and down.
Maybe watching all the teams below you, probably even some of the teams above, just hoping they go down early, kind of ease the pain. But you can see the big difference here from Rapid and Cold and some of the other teams. Rapid literally buying out the mending machine, and then they kind of bring all the heals up towards Cold so he can kind of watch them, kind of leaving scraps essentially for anybody else that tries to rotate through and grab that mending machine. Just jump on board Void. Looks like he's getting chased down by a Beeb. Nowhere near his teammate just yet, but he's trying to use those shockwaves to close the distance.
Just look at Zipness points too. Overall today, having quite the performance here. Obviously, after that last victory royale, in a 5th place before that, they've just propelled themselves right into a potential land qualification spot. Now, they still have a little bit of a ways to go, but if they can continue to play well, they will be up towards the top here in the next 2 rounds. Visuals and Braids slipping down the totem pole. They were holding that 3rd strong for so long. These last few rounds have just been a bit tough for them.
Yeah, they have a bit of a cushion, almost 100-point cushion going into these last 2 games, but almost leaves you scratching your head. They vastly changed up their strategy from day 1 going into day 2, where they would typically set up here for a long time, just getting little tags that adds up to a good amount of surge. By the time they rotated towards those moving zones, it made it a little more free to do what they want. But more and more teams rotating over, even to close the day out yesterday, lurking on them, getting those eliminations, forcing in the back of Visuals and Braids' minds different things to go out. But they're going to go ahead and get that drop early on, just at the edge of zone. And this could be a blessing here with the zone moving towards the north. They're already set up on one of these mountains, and every team south of that line has to rotate either through Visuals and Braids or to the left or the right.
And this is definitely the better spot to be in. And, you know, this is arguably the best spot to have a monster surge base, but they seem to have gone to keeping more of a low profile. So they're trying to mix things up. And
in a fight.
if I had to guess, teams just changed their rotation strategy, right? Coming into day 2. And maybe that's why Visual and Braids is having a bit of a harder time, whereas yesterday, while everyone was caught off guard, Strat
We're
was
in a
able to better.
fight.
But for Peterbot and Pollo, they're fighting for points here. It's the Squiggly Shores. Obviously, their domain. Doing a good job so far.
Peterbot just using a couple of resources that are around. Taking that spicy fish, getting a little bit of a movement boost that can help him try to break into some of these boxes.
Ooh, nice.
Pressure out Muzz from 2 different angles. One shot can connect from Pollo. Peterbot still
Nice.
holding it down, leading some of those Thunderburst shots through, getting him down to just HP. And with the zone here, yeah, it might only be a 1 tick, but it's going to increase the worry for Must. Liquid tries to go up and make a play onto Peterbot, but he gets cut short as well. He has no choice but to try and disengage. He basically gave up any hope of him and his duo either taking down Peterbot or surviving, so he moves towards the north, saying, hey, if you're going to eliminate him, I probably already have the goal. Let's just start working on plan B.
Yeah, look at that. And little did they know that he actually fully dipped on his teammates. So he could have stuck around and finished it, but not worth the risk. Really showing you, too, that, like, Peterbot and Pollo are really trying to play for an end game right now. They know that, hey, the points will come. We just got to keep winning.
Muzz and Sphinx, you know, Muzz, at least, you know, in the last major 3 in trios qualifying in the last game of the day to make it to globals. A much better position, 7th place, 430 points on the leaderboard. Just needs to be able to close it out strong in the last 2 games. Listen and Aloe in the mix as well, just trying to float above one of these teams. They're going to be in 23rd place, 214 points. I want to say roughly like 56
Nice.
points
Ooh.
away from getting inside of that bubble. That's definitely going to help him tenfold. Raven does go down. Aloe already trying to shockwave over. CDZ realizing the shockwaves are coming in. He's going to try to disengage himself. Can't be the hero in a situation that started so fast.
Unfortunate turn of events here for CDZ and Raven. They find themselves at the bottom of the standings here, but hey, all of this is experience gathered and effort learned. So Agers there find G Monster in the feed. So Agers continue to do what he needs to earn himself some points to continue to fight his way back into first. It's neck and neck up at the top. No teams can make a mistake now. If you're Acorn and Bolts, you're going to need to have those big game wins as well. Otherwise, the dream is out.
Yeah, which is surprising to start this day. We're talking about the phenomenal play from Bolt, solo impact, him and Acorn's ability to remain consistent in each and every one of these games. It's just something went wrong today. You know, compared to yesterday, they had a 32nd place and 19th. They did make up for it in a moment with a 3rd place with 5 eliminations, but now they're 98 points away from first place. 2 games left. Almost have a little bit of control over their destiny. They really got to hope for Curve, Benno, Aegis, Ritual, Cold, and Rapid. A whole slew of players to have a much worse performance than they've had so far, even on average. Aegis and Ritual rotating back on over towards Sandy Strip. Another team, uncontested drop. They really have conditioned a good portion of this lobby to stay away from this mending machine.
You know, and I'm just thinking, Javi and Diminish actually jumped up a placement point last game as well. Their average placement so far in the tournament is 8.6. The best of all the teams right now inside of the top 5. That is a pretty impressive stat, just kind of taking a surface glance at it right now. Everyone else, though, clearly, though, has way more elims. That's why they have the higher points overall. But still, Javi and Diminish playing exceptional right now. It's a great time to just start checking in with them. What's going well with them? Why can they keep making it work here? It seems like the Frigid Fortress is treating them very well.
Yeah, and honestly, an unlikely duo coming into this one. You know, at one point it was Reet and Javi, and Minish with a whole other player, and Reet goes ahead and says, "Hey Cooper, you want a duo? We're not playing as well as we would hope." So he goes a separate way.
Well,
Javi
I'm
and
pretty about
Minish, they formed
now
just in
top
time
3.
to have a phenomenal performance in play-ins. They followed up with a good performance in heats, and already continuing that trend here with a top 5
They
position on the
need
leaderboard, 75 points away.
oh
from
no,
what could
oh
be
yeah, they
multiple
still need
players' first
60
FNCS
points.
championship. But again, when you look at the leaderboard on the right, it's just so close, not only for the actual first place on the leaderboard, but the top 13 overall, where you see 13 and 14th place have already been eliminated out of this lobby. And honestly, you don't want to look back at this moment, Monster, saying, "Hey, I had the chance and I wasted it."
Yeah, most definitely. And I'm actually looking at the standings just for like Javi and Diminish's, you know, placement performances. They actually have 2 second places in there, and last game obviously pulled that 3rd. So they have come close to a win multiple times now. We will be keeping an eye on them. But with Cold and Rapid here from the Dark Dominion now to this new draw spot so far, it seems to be playing off relatively well. They have 400 damage above, plenty of material, and they actually pull zone.
Okay, 400 above.
This is really
That's good.
for Cold and Rapid right here. They actually needed a little bit of luck, and it seems like it's playing off.
Yeah, I'm thinking in my head, the only thing they're missing is a little bit of high ground, but it's Cold and Rapid. When do they ever play on the high ground? Exactly, they get what they want. Just like Peter
They're
Bot and
pushing.
Boyle, relentless pressure throughout the entirety of this game. They're almost 1,000 above the threshold, but you wouldn't think that to be true. They only have 1 elimination so far, so they are going for it.
Nice.
They're going for these high elim games. It's just they're
Oh.
not finding any success on the actual eliminations up until then, where they take down both Jack and N-Pen before they got to rotate to the next zone. So that's
Okay,
gonna
3
replenish a lot
kills.
of their
That's good.
builds. They can pick and choose what resource they want to take with them before they finally make their way on out.
This is crazy.
700
They're
above. Oh my
really
god.
playing to their strengths right now. Goes the Flowberry miss, so they're just going to be shock waving their way all the way into the zone.
Oh my
Shoot,
god,
they might even
Peterbot.
end up on some high ground here.
God.
Shoot, they have the mats to play for it, but Peterbot gets caught in a spider's trap
Yeah.
right there. Got to be careful. On the other side, as we were watching that though, we missed
Oh,
what was
me.
happening over here. Flex, buddy, you're looking the wrong way. Venno knocks him upside the head,
And then they get the follow-up and the finish.
වෙනකොට දරුණු විදිහට ගහනවා හැබැයි.
Rotating in towards the zone. And they're using that as a quick second here to look back. Seeing anybody that still has the journey to make, like Dolzir and Ishu outside of the zone. They're just pressuring, trying to make it harder for them to not only make it in, but even if they do, they're not going to make it in healthy. Another elimination towards the side. Slepsy and Wage was able to pick up one.
Brixton Higgs still alive.
Rezi back as Curve, looking like he's trying to approach in that direction. You see Benno peeking through the cone, gathering vital information for their team. And you can see Benno and Curve are the only team who haven't been hit by any surge so far in each and every one of these games. It's just going to show that that early game presence by Curve and Benno is paying off tenfold.
They've just been the most aggressive. They've, again, been clearly the most successful in the early game. This game's a little bit slower for them in the early game, but their mid game is just taking off right now. They are in another prime situation to play for high ground here in the end game, and we know what they do well. They play it late. They let people get their first, little taste of height, and then they come in and put their influence to the test. Rapid and Cold, though, much different strategy for them. We've seen them play low ground, time in, time out, front side, dead side, you name it. They'll be there. Comes to rotates though. This is still a difficult terrain to play with, right? They have to go up and over this mountain, which you have Peterbot and Boyo now completely positioned up, and then you have QTAKS and Higgs already basing on the opposite side.
They got the kill, right?
Teams take it early. QTAKS and Higgs were able to hold it early on in day number 1, but since then, honestly, it's been changing hands through each and every one of these zones here in the end game as they position themselves above. Peterbot and Poyo have the luxury to stagger themselves back. Look down, rain fire from above. Not necessarily getting eliminations here, but they are just hurting every single player they connect shots with as they rotate on over.
දැන් මෙතන ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ මට තේරෙන්නේ පීරබොට already height එක තියෙනනේ but
seen in previous games them try to go ahead and play high ground as their own. They don't necessarily have that luxury up until now. They pull zone in their favor and they immediately build up saying,
okay,
hey,
okay. කොහොමද මොකද දැන් අනිවාර්යෙන් අවදාන වෙනවා මේ Venom and
That's so different than anything else we've seen from QTAKS and Higgs. They've been building single straight standing towers, but now Higgs is putting up this huge
Venom and Curve මේ Curve දැන් try කරා අනිවාර්යෙන් height එක ගන්න උතනින්.
Issues fighting their way to the new zone though. That was almost a fresh elim. Oh, actually it is an elim as things catch up there. Venno finds another one. And he was already in the lead, Jacob, with the most amount of elims, and he's continued to do so. But look at this, not looking good. Boyo's down. Peterbot comes through to clutch up. He finds one. Can he get the follow-up here? He's doing so much damage, but he can't quite get the finish, but it's okay. He's bought Boyo enough time to get saved here.
Yeah, and they have the splashes. They're going to have Incy start to use those along with Pizza, but the zone is moving in. 10 ticks of damage. Instantly popping the big pot. Really trusting Peterbot to get those splashes out in time. They have to be careful, though. Right above them, QTAKS and Higgs. And even in front of zone, we got Curve and Benno. We got Muzz and Sphinx as well. Honestly, the storyline couldn't be any better here. Because you got first place right now, Curve and Benno. This could be the first time a player has won.
Boyo got down again.
Two of the and they find a big elimination on the Peterbot, taking one of the hardest teams out of their path to the finish line.
Shit.
Down and out. The full elim comes through right there, Jacob, and he gets the finish as well. And just like that, they're up in the lead now. QTAKS and Higgs on high ground, doing exactly what they need to do. They have solidified the positioning here.
Peterbot also dead?
He's doing a good job sacrificing a
Peterbot
little
also
bit
there?
of HP, so that
I don't think, right?
deep into the zone, reconnect on that.
I can't even see. Is he still there? No, right? Yeah, he's dead too. Fuck.
They think it's all smooth sailing, but Curve and Venno wait for
Bro.
these perfect moments.
Oh no, he's still there.
Step
Nice.
by step, and they're waiting until they least suspect it, but Peterbot's still going on his rampage. Big down onto Dragon, trying to pick up that elimination, but Curve and Venno, they're matching him blow for blow.
8 elims now. Venno is really starting to heat up.
Come on, Peterbot.
Interested in jumping down for Max. Notice that they want to maintain this positioning, and they're still trying to time for high ground here to try to play for another win. Higgs, though, is the only one up top. They send QTAKS down low. QTAKS finds Peterbot.
Oh, Peterbot there.
The rug. And now Venno and Curve. Here comes the setup. Off they go. Curve's got no mat, so they have to concede to go lower and lower here.
and this terrain's not helping. Look at all these old builds as things are moving back and forth, but Venno, Curve are still neck to neck with QTAKS and Higgs right here.
Yeah, Curve and Venno, I feel like they know they don't even necessarily need the high ground. They don't even necessarily need the win. They just need to remain consistent. That slows them down a little bit. Big shot is going to land onto Venno. Pressure coming from up above. Thank gosh that Curve is there to alleviate some of the pressure, holding on to the build. But if you blink, you might have missed it. Higgs has went down. QTAKS trying to go for the revive. Curve and
Okay, Curve and Venno got the high trigger.
Is up there to contest
Oh,
it.
look
They
at the
use Phase,
builds.
They use the shockwave. They instantly take away that high ground. 6 teams left, Monster, and everybody at least has the duo by their side unless it's cold. He goes down. Rapid is now left by himself.
And he has the awareness too. The awareness to keep shooting back at them. Venno tries to keep the pressure, but the shockwaves put QTAKS and Higgs up on high ground, and they know we don't have enough mats to hold this one down. QTAKS and Higgs managed to have just enough HP though to go ahead and heal back in this game, but then you have Rapid. Look at this, just solo surviving right now as a player here in the mid ground right now. Trying to evaluate what he wants to do here, but he's got pressure coming in from potentially Venno and Curve here on the layer. Right behind he comes and he actually finds Curve. It's gonna be
down.
Buzz who jumps in and they get the full finish.
Yeah, but still, that's no worries to me. Venno's just taking this time to heal up. Quickly go and scurries outside of the zone. Still almost a full chug left, but Higgs is quickly on the chase. Gets a good amount of damage until the zone does the rest. QTAKS and Higgs have finally woken up from their slumber. From day 1 to day 2, they finally found their form back. 5 eliminations here, but Rapid is still up, trying to close the gap. Pig down onto Sphinx, separates him from Muzz, but you see he has no builds. He probably feels in the back of his mind. He has
Rapid
to get this
Rapid
elimination, but underneath, Braids takes him down, gets the elimination, and moves one step
Oh,
closer
he's
to
got-
first.
I was gonna say, talking about the slumber, Bolts and Acorn were down low. Now they're the sleeping giants starting to wake up here, putting their influence in the mix, but you have a lot more players to worry about. Braids and Visuals are here to mess around as well. They also need the refresh too, as they're out of material, so they're gonna be forced into this fight here, whether you like it or not. And then, of course, QTAKS and Higgs have to come down and jump in this battle as well. Bolts uses the shockwave to go up. Someone gets
What?
eliminated in the sky. It's
Higgs.
actually QTAKS. He couldn't touch down in time. And Bolts and Acorn all of a sudden now find themselves in a winning position.
Huh?
And the shot
Bro, what
goes
happened?
through. And just like that,
How?
Bolts manages to do it again here.
Okay.
Yeah, Bolts and Acorn pop off in the second.
I wanna see the
last game of
leaderboard
day,
now.
becoming the second team to win 2 different games this weekend in a leaderboard, Monster. In a world that is so
Okay,
stacked and close, this one is surely
Curve and
gonna
Venno
move
still
them
in the
one step
top.
closer to contending for another
659
FNCS
points.
championship.
Oh my
One
god.
left game to go. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
I keep thinking, man, like I've got a handle on it. There's
They're
like,
90
you know,
points
this is all
above.
the action, it's all cool. And no, man.
God.
We literally just talked
That's
about
crazy,
the
huh?
top 5 right before this, right?
Okay.
And Acorn and Bolts were that 6th place team. They were the team on the outside, and they said, Zeke, I'm sorry. Did you forget about us?
Oh,
We can now be in the
bene.
top 5. Why
But
did you
that's
forget
not
about us?"
good.
And now they are fighting for our love and affection. I
Oh
cannot
shit,
believe
oh
this
shit.
game
But how
11 with
many?
so many Titanic duos.
How many
all doing
offenses
the same
win?
thing, thinking,
How,
"Bro,
like,
we
yeah,
can
I
do
know
it.
that
This
he
is
has
our
6
championship
wins,
games
but
left. We can fight for an axe." Acorn and Bolt say, you know what? We'd like to toss our name in the hat. Little name in the hat. There you go, Zeke. Go ahead. Shuffle it up. I don't know. Kelly.
I want to see
I'm working it
finals.
out.
I mean, this really was the game for our teams in that 6th to 10th place spot. Everyone that was in our top 5 having some issues, either going down to a solo situation or going down early,
People
you know,
this-
unless you're Venno.
this
But
year.
this Acorn and Bolts that were just right outside of that edge, making sure that they're just playing the low ground. They're playing what they do best. They don't need to be disruptor. They don't need to be
This
getting all these
major and
eliminations.
major
They
three
just need to make it
finals.
to the end game right
One.
there. And Bolts once again going to a
Final.
solo,
Oh,
proving
okay.
that he's
Finals
going to make
for
sure
third
that him and
place.
Acorn stay at the top of
Huh?
our leaderboard.
So funny.
Day one,
Game
day one,
11,
day
I mean,
two,
we're
okay.
just watching all the chaos kind of unfold on night. Oh my gosh, Peter Bot's trying to hold it. QTAKS and Higgs, they go up for it.
Making
Venno and Curve, they
go
start to
first,
get active.
wow.
All this stuff's happening. Elim. And then we take a look at where everybody else is at. Acorn and Bolts
Sure,
on the
on
low
first.
ground. 100.
Terminated
full
for first.
healthy duo. And they finish the
Oh
game
my god.
just like that as a duo. Incredible stuff for them to kind of
Okay.
enter the conversation, not only in that
Last
game
game.
specifically, because they didn't even know they were alive in that game. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, they're chilling on the low ground. But now I can only imagine how close they are to keep themselves back in the competition for the win.
Oh my gosh, that little angle, that little tiny little corner was the difference maker. 574 points. Fortnite fan, we have one game left to go. We're gonna go to a break. Okay, I need a moment to breathe. Okay, I need a moment to breathe. When we come back, we start setting up because this is a close run. Okay, go find some popcorn, find a drink, use the bathroom. We'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bathroom. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second, chat.
Wait, if you're mid, wait. 100? 100? Oh my god!
And I don't know how to feel about it.
You're not used to losing. Getting beaten?
Not like this. These players are just so locked in.
Could it be the milk? Stay there.
Okay. All right. I'm fine. I'm calm.
He's not. He's not.
Everything is okay. In case you're joining us, welcome. This is the FNCS Grand Finals. No big deal. One of the most important moments in the FNCS. We have one game left to go. You know, hey, crazy stuff happened in that last game. Acorn and Bolts got themselves a victory out of that last game. That's crazy, right? Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the standings, because it gets crazier. Because right now, Curve and Veno are in first place with 659 points. Kelly!
They have 78 eliminations, more than double that of Acorn
Holy.
and Bolts. Veno
Hey guys, I'm back.
have showed today what they do best. Those early eliminations, going into the mid game, making sure that they don't have to worry about Storm Surge, and then controlling the mid ground, either chopping people from above or eliminating people down below. They do it time and time again. And you know what? Maybe day one wasn't their day, but it's better late than never. Veno showing everyone why he is not just moving states like we see a lot of these players do in North America. No, he's moving countries to claim this as his own. Manifesting destiny is all about
No,
America's history.
if he
He's
come
showing
to
why Britain
Asia
came first
too,
over
huh?
Please put an absolute huge exclamation point on the fact that these guys were in 10th place coming into the day. We have played 5 games, and they now have an 85-point lead over second place. I don't know what kind of crazy stat or how
The way
this is
he
gonna look
did,
on paper,
way
but
did
this
it,
has to be
kind
one
of
of the most
sad, but
incredible
yeah.
day 2 performances, day 2 comebacks,
Yeah, last
whatever you
game,
wanna
bro.
call it, that
It's the
we
last
have
game.
ever seen. I mean, look at 78. How in the heck? What's even going on? These guys, every single time we watch the game, it's just a highlight reel for them.
Dude, you know, we were talking about it during the break there, and it's like at a certain point, this is going to become mathematically impossible, right? Like at a certain point, we've tuned into them.
Nah, man, yeah.
Early stages of the game,
The second
they have
most
4 or
kill
5 or 3 elims,
Peterborough
right?
and Poyo.
They just have to do what they've been doing all day long, and they will walk away as the winners. Now, we only have a minute and a half. I really quickly just want to flip on over the top 13, right? Yes, we are absolutely playing for a first place and an Axe of Champions, right? But we also can't forget top 13 or right now.
Ooh, what is the
praying
Axe of
for their
Champion? Like
spot
this
at the
year, Axe of
summit.
Champion.
298. Do not forget that number going into this game. 298 is the current cutoff. Seek and Taki are holding that. But guys, we have 1 game left to go. Let's even just look at Scare and Osid, right? We saw Scare and Osid pop off earlier on, like not even just a few weeks ago. They could try and play for that spot. Look at Jargu as
Bro,
well.
they are not even talking about clicks and Peterborough. No, clicks and Higgs.
This goes down to 20, Kelly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's literally like 42 points that separate 13th from 20th place, and I'm guessing it's even closer down below. So we could probably get to page 3, see teams in our 30th place spot. And if they have that pop-off game, and we know that there is a possibility of some teams just kind of sliding by, making it into the top 5 and just grabbing a handful of eliminations, that right there is 90 points and could be the difference maker of going to Dusseldorf or not.
Ah, she's talking about Peterborough, bro. Yeah, she's talking about Peterborough.
All the teams that we have been talking about are finally showing up right now, and this is the final game.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff going on that leaderboard, so much we could break down.
I hope
There's only one way
Peterborough
to
at
find out who's
least
gonna walk away.
at
Not
least
only
get second
champions,
place
who's gonna-
or
who's
first
gonna get
place,
second,
bruh.
Who's gonna get third? Who's gonna qualify
Please.
for the LAN event? And that's just to play the games.
Vivid, the last game of the day right now. Fortnite fam, lock in every single thing that these players do. Whether they get an elim or get eliminated, this is it. The last game to make the impossible possible. For the last time today, MDF, Jacob PR, take it away.
Honestly, Monster, I've never seen so many storylines go down the leaderboard so far. Curve could win his first FNCS champion. Veno could win 2 titles on the hardest regions with EU and NA and add his 4th overall. Acorn could win another major one. Bolt could be a West and Central champion. Cold back on top. Rapid wins his first. I could keep going all day, but it just goes to show the stories are endless today.
Oh, I don't know what's wrong with me, bro.
Best regions to watch. It's what is really the pinnacle of what Fortnite's all about, and we of course have the privilege of calling all the action here. You've been watching it go down. Let's see if luck is on their side.
Yeah, let's see. Get game 12, final game.
Coming into a game 12 of honestly the most recent FNCS is almost a year now. People always have that same conversation. Who will land on first place? And right now, it looks like we have an interesting situation breaking down. Peterbot and Poyo look to contest Curve and Veno, but Curve and Veno already seen that one coming. They leave, they go to Squibbly Shores, and they get another early game elimination. Zeke said it, Monster. Eventually, this will become mathematically impossible for anybody outside of Curve and Veno to win.
I called it. I already knew this was going to happen. I knew that Veno was someone that Peterbot and Poyo like respect at such a competitive level. They would be willing to contest them. They would be willing to try to throw their tournament off. But Veno is one of the smartest players we've ever had, and he will see it from a mile away. So even now, them just mixing up, it's just a safety strat. It's to say, hey, who wants to battle us? Come bring it. We're not afraid to mix it up. We're not afraid to stay dynamic here in the last game.
Looks like Peterbot and Poyo going into this game, though. With that elimination, of course, with Veno and Curve, they are 98 points away from an FNCS champion, and that's only playing catch up to Curve and Veno. They still got so many big names in their path as they're looking to take it. They probably noticed that
Oh
Curve
my.
and Veno weren't at the Battlewood. They immediately turn around. They got a hint of what's going on. Maybe they
Oh,
think
shit.
this is them, but it's Raven and CDZ, a whole nother team. This gives a huge moment here for Curve and Veno to look on over, possibly engage, possibly disengage. The choice is definitely theirs, especially since it's taken a little bit longer
Oh,
than we
Poyo
thought.
down?
Peterbot lands a shot, but Poyo goes down. Raven is escaping back inside of the building. That puts Peterbot in a 1v2.
Oh no, and the finish comes through as well, and that is
No,
not
no,
the
no,
way
no,
you
no.
want this to start going down right here. If you're Peterbot or Poyo, you need so many more points. You cannot afford to be get set this far behind. Peterbot though, in a world of
Oh,
trouble
no,
here,
it's not-
enemy builds,
oh, no,
has
that's
to
not
back
good.
off, shot through the wall as well. This is, of course, Raven and CDZ's one chance to go in and pounce on them. But Peterbot's back in the mix here, fully healthy. Misses an important shot here, and things are looking pretty south now for him.
Yeah, the biggest thing here was
Oh, no.
Peterbot was able
Oh, no,
to get
no,
the
no, no, no,
materials
no,
from
no, no,
Poyo,
no, no.
but Raven lands another monster shot, getting the shield gone out from Peterbot. He has the mini still there. But
Come on,
he's running
Peterbot.
out of build. CDZ and Raven really don't have no materials down
Oh,
below,
nice.
so they can't not fight upwards, so he has to drop down low. Peterbot
Nice.
again trying to take the fight to them as CDZ gets dropped to this. Less than 50 HP, but a third party's coming in, Monster. A third party from the east, from Dark Dominion, looks to interrupt this play.
No, 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 no. Fuck. Oh, that's not good, bang.
Second here, Raven CDZ been a little too passive now. They had an opportunity to finish up.
Yeah,
this
he
one.
needs to run
They
away.
Back off instead. Rapid
Yeah,
and
of
Cold
course he needs to
show
run away.
up,
Oh,
and
shit.
They are cleaning up house faster than ever. They find two quick elims. Even shooting the down body just to show and flex that they're here as well. And look at this. They are hunting for poor Peterbot, who's now hiding inside of the factory. Just unprecedented type of endgame right now. You never see this level of clash go down here. Definitely not for the likes of Peterbot. He's normally the one hunting. Now he's being hunted.
Yeah, they probably saw in the feed that Poyo did go down, so they immediately left their drop spot to beeline it on over. This is a team that's on their tail. Cold is in third place. You see it there. Peterbot and Poyo in fourth place. It really was asking the question.
Bro,
is
that's
it
not-
brave
that's-
enough with the point
oh
gap
my
so low,
God.
You would really risk your spot on the leaderboard if you were looking to go on the chase, but Veno, Curve, they not only left their drop spot at Battlewood, they left their second drop spot at Squizzly, and they're already going on the hunt for these elims. They don't want to win after Game 12, Monster. They want to win during this game so they can take a much-needed victory lap.
Well, this is crazy. You know, if you just allow them to continue to get elims like this, which they have done extremely successfully, way more successfully than any other team here on the weekend, they will be too far ahead. We would be asking so much of Cold and Rapid. We're talking upwards of 10, 15 elims and a victory royale. Give this a second now. So from one team wipe onto another now, Dozier and Escher trying to fight the fire
Oh my.
of Veno and Curve.
He didn't saw the curve. Oh my.
Curve has been live this entire time, by the way.
Huh?
Do not sleep on him. This is, again, nothing like we've ever seen before.
Yeah, especially for
Ooh.
Mom and
Peterbot's
Pop
down.
Curve. Imagine him
Peterbot's-
only
oh my
gets
God,
eliminated
Peterbot
by
down?
Cold and Rapid. Peterbot goes down in
No.
fourth place, tied with Agers and Ritual. Couldn't get worse from there, but
No,
Venom takes a good
bruh.
shot, but he is not backing down. Ishu gets eliminated.
Why?
Siphon comes in. Much needed builds get
Really?
replenished by Veno. Curve
Oh,
not slowing
gosh.
down, trying to alleviate the pressure. Lands a huge shot on the
Bruh.
here, and the elimination one as well. 5 elims, Monster. 5
Ayo,
eliminations here.
Peterbot
This
is down.
domination at its finest in Major 1
Oh.
on NA Central.
Looking so
Like-
good for them right now. Rapid and Cold right now on the
Shit.
hunt too, just trying to figure out what is going on here. They're already at 3 elims as well. So Rapid and Cold are playing so aggressive too. You got to give them credit right here. We know what the task at hand is. We know what needs to be
इतने
done. And
इतने
what
poor
it
sell
really
करा
does
बंग
feel
game में
like
का
impossible. It's
poor
as
sell
if
करा
it's
game में का
top off
fuck
right now and go into the upper double-digit elimination territory and
Bruh.
potentially win the game. Because for them, it's about the championship victory.
අපරාධේ.
Jumping over to Brilliant and Jargo playing a little bit of the storm fight right here, keeping us busy right now.
ඔය මෙතන කැත විදිහට සිල් කර එයා අතර කළා හිටියනම්
Essentially, two sides of
Fah.
one. We're watching the battle for first.
Ah.
Veno's down. Veno is down, but Curve saves the
Oh
day.
my
What
gosh.
are we witnessing? This is a montage performance. I don't want to call it too soon, Monster, but this is beginning to look like a victory lap for Curve and Veno.
The writing's on the wall. You just have to read it, brother. All right? It's whenever you're ready, just let us know. They're at 6 eliminations now. Acorn and Bolts, a little cheeky here, though. Trying to see if anyone's willing to kind of sneak on by to find a couple elims right now. And let's just paint the bigger picture. Obviously, Kurt and Veno off to the races right now. A 100-point gap separating them from the rest of the competition. And then you have so many other teams trying to fight for a land spot to the Global Summit. It's right around the corner. Who is going to be in Germany? Only the top 13 will make it.
And as it stands right now, in order for Cold and Rapid to win the tournament, this is as it stands right now, they need Curve and Veno to go down outside of top 25 with not a single elimination more. And then they need to win the game with 10 or so eliminations in the double digits. So it's going to show how much of a runaway this is turning into. And that's where you see a lot of lurks going down, because it's not only the battle for first. If you look at Tyler and Chance here, 391 points on the overall leaderboard. They're in 10th place. If they go down early, they can kiss their summit spot goodbye.
Definitely be really close for them. They'll be holding on to a thin margin. Taki and Seek on the other side. Same can be said for these teams here. 208 points earned on the tournament day. So you are seeing moments of greatness here coming out. Some of our competitors here on the
yeah.
format.
Attack gonna make a quick, clean glide here. They're just trying to dodge all the noise down below, having to worry about surge, having to worry about others rotating in your path. Be a good plan for Seek and Taki.
Clicks and Higgs, oh.
Place. They just need to hold on to their current spot on that leaderboard. Clicks and Higgs, though, a moment ago, did see them in the feed. They picked up at least one more elimination here. They, too, have a little bit more of a cushion than some of the other counterparts. 430 points in 9th place. They just need to make sure to finish strong. It's more of a confidence thing than anything else, I feel like, at this point.
Bro, what?
And you've made it this far. They had such exceptional moments of greatness, but in the end, everything has
I don't know what's wrong with like.
How do you account for having the
It looks like he gave up on like after game 11th. He gave up.
All things have to come together. Cooper and Rito, they're still
Everything.
fighting for their qualification seat. They're not fully safe just yet. Not at least how I feel. Let's take a look at the standings here. This is gonna put them at 12th place there, Jacob. So close.
Oh my.
Yeah, I would say they have a 22-point gap from 13th, which is actually the line. And then about a 44 or so point gap between them and falling outside of the bubble, which means anything could be possible. If they go down, let's just say 15th place, and anybody else kind of is able to secure a top 8 or better, they can certainly overtake them on the leaderboard. But definitely so many different possibilities here as the tournament continues on. Threats in Beer, a team that started inside of the bubble on the day, shortly fell out of it and is trying to work their way back. Aviv and King, another similarity here, 17th place coming into this game, which means those eliminations, 8 more points, is definitely going to boost them up the leaderboard just a little bit. I think that almost puts them on the line outside of that bubble around 14th place with those elims.
Yeah, Aviv and King, the last 2 games have played really well, actually making it to endgame, and this time they actually have 4 total elims, so just a monstrous performance so far, definitely stepping up and doing what they need to when it matters most. And often Saul kind of see what's going on here. They end up backing off. You have Osin and Scare, another team that's very much in the conversation right now. Looking at how they've played, you have a 4th place as far as their best performance so far in last game, roughly 15th for them with a single elim. So not too bad, definitely earning some placement points. If they can keep that up, they
might just be doing enough to jump up and in.
This is going to be an interesting lobby slash end game. Because if you look at like day
Yeah.
one, we were getting what, fourth zone surge, sometimes even earlier because how stacked the lobby is. To start the day, we were getting fifth zone, maybe sixth zone surge. There's only 60 players up. There's only 30 teams left in this lobby right now in the fourth zone. So it's rather thinned out, moving at a much more accelerated pace. So you have to be careful on some of these rotations. So instead of being able to rotate, stack with a bunch of other teams, hoping they choose them instead of you, now some of these rotations will be a little bit more bare with you and maybe one or two other teams being the only one rotating in that direction.
I mean, when you have Cold, Rapid, Acorn, Bolts, Curvin, Veno looking for elims, right? Trying to either push the gap, close the gap, like this is what happens. The lobby will tend to thin out, and then everyone else, of course, trying to fight for their qualification spot. Look at this though, Veno, Curve inside the storm right now. They surely know they've done enough, right? So now it's just time to chill out, hang out, enjoy the storm for a little bit. Here on the beach, have no reason to really put themselves in any danger here.
Yeah.
Especially with the zone moving on over towards the south. They know they can essentially ride the shoreline, whether they try to make a little shortcut in, go on top of the mountains, they can go all the way towards the south. They do got one zone, though, that they really have to worry about. So going from zone 4 to zone 5, it moves from a 1 tick of damage into 2. From zone 5 to zone 6, it would move from a 2 tick damage into a 5. So even though they do have a lot of time on their side, they don't want to use all their resources just getting into zones. Since you can kind of see on the map there on your left side that so many other teams are also outside of the zone and inside of their path that could certainly cut them off.
Yeah, definitely. They're moving really quickly. Wagers and Sleepsy, though. Look at this. A little bit of a high ground position right here. Still, though, no surge warnings in sight. This game is moving so fast right now as the lobby's starting to thin out. And this is a pretty congested north side of the Battlewood Boulevard, so kind of a new site for us, if you will. Looking at the names that are in play here. Jack, N-Pen, Acorn, Bolts. On the other side, Osid and Scare. Scare, though, gets fully finished right here. One of our bubble teams is out to the hands of Sikentaki. This is super important. Actually, it was Wagers from up top. It wasn't Sikentaki, but they're right next to that collateral damage.
Almost all the same, though. Sikentaki, that 13th place, Scare and Osid, or I should say,
What about
Osid by himself is gonna be
Clicks and
14th place. He has a big upbeat
Clicks and
gap to
Higgs?
overcome. Hey, anything is possible. 29 teams still up, so 4
Are they
more
still
go
up,
down. They'll start
or
to get those placement points, and they'll cascade in with each and every team that does go down. Contrapt's going to fall, and already one less team to worry about here. 55 players left in this game, so there's only one solo running around, and that's going to be Osid.
Gotta do what he gotta do, though. It's really close.
And
It's
fair.
so far now. It's all gonna come down to, can you earn your way towards the positioning placement points there?
Clicks and Higgs still there?
We're up in the distance. Agers and Ritual here sitting pretty. Got the box open. Eyes on Acorn and Bolts. Little did they know.
They still have like
Oh, look at this zone, though. Full
0
zone north.
kills.
Okay, so this is gonna be working against the likes of Curve and Venom, who obviously were wrapping far around the outskirts.
Trying to get not necessarily damage for Surge as it does turn on. 14 players do need to go down, but you can see where they stand. 400 above the damage threshold. Since they're right next to the zone monster, they don't have to do much movement at all. Just kind of focus on getting that damage while not receiving much. Acorn and Bolts try to land some shots onto N-Pen and Jack in the distance, inadvertently kind of alleviating some of the pressure. N-Pen and Jack could have looked to get aggressive. Acorn and Bolts 132 above the damage threshold. They sit in 3rd place on the leaderboard, a mere 6 points out of 2nd. Huge chunk of money differential. And I was talking about Bolts. If somehow, some way, a miracle can happen, Acorn and Bolts keeps the Major 1 magic alive, Bolts will become another player on that short list of 2 region champions. I know Veno is certainly in line to becoming another player on that list in 2 of the hardest regions in Fortnite, in NA Central and EU.
Yeah, definitely looking to make history here and now. Reed and Cooper sitting pretty strong right now, guys. 340 damage above, safe in the zone, plenty to work with right now. That's the type of position you want to see Reed and Cooper in if they're going to land. Seek and Taki on the other side, same can be said for them. Still have a couple shockwaves to work with. Not too many to make it towards endgame, but hey, enough to at least stay in the race here for quite some time. It's all gonna come down to a refresh for Seek and Taki though. See if they could time the rotate. Looking at who's positioned up though, Clicks and Higgs trying to end this one with the splash.
That's a good
Already you
place
can see
to
they're poising up
go.
for that high ground here, Jacob.
To go for end game.
Still, no matter what's been going good or bad in some of these games, they're just continuing
Flat surface and yeah.
far into the game, they're going to contest for that high ground.
Imagine Peterbot
Just
and
outside of that
Paul
bubble,
still
see
alive.
two teams with a little bit of a scuffle going on. They try to land some shots before they go ahead
അവര്
and make their
ദുഃഖമായി
way
അപ്പം
on
തന്നെ
over.
വരണം.
Just try to pressure them so that way they don't make any peaks, makes the rotation that much safer. That was Reed Cooper in that distance. They're 193 above the damage threshold. Inside of that qualification ring, they just need to be able to hold on here, especially more so now with Javi in a minute looking to walk him down.
Really close now to earning some positioning points here as well. 28 teams still standing.
Oh, and
Curve finds Kingling there in the feed. Veno super hit up off the rotate here. That brings them up to 7 eliminations. And Curve
They're like
finding his moment,
almost.
finding his footing now. These last couple games, I mean, it's been the Veno show, but Curve has stepped up when it mattered most. Even in this game, clutching Elim after Elim, and now finding the follow-up and the refresh that they need to succeed here. Clicks and Higgs, though, just want to do what they can do best.
Not the best spot to be in for a team in second place, below the damage threshold. Boats persistence there is able to lead some shots through underneath that cover, get them above the damage threshold. A mere 5, but at least it's something. They're not taking active surge, but 25 damage every 7 seconds. Blake and Preston trying to put down some pressure, but only for a short moment. Bolts is going to be able to hold off. Get through the comb though, getting this information is going to
15
be
above.
vital, but Buzz gets the down onto Clicks. I see it in the feed. Sphinx even gets the clean up here. High ground changing hands, but it's not Muzz and Sphinx. Right now, it
Clicks
looks like
dead.
Feed,
Nice.
Looks like Curve and Veno are all fighting for it.
Yeah, if you look at it, Curve, Veno come in out of nowhere, just trying to time that.
Enough
high
also
ground,
there.
off they go. Meanwhile, Threats and Beer still fighting to stay in the tournament life as well. Higgs on the left side clutches up a nice little Elim for himself. That's going to drop G Monster and send him back to the lobby. He might not have enough to make it to land. Meanwhile, high ground is solidified by Muzz and Sphinx, but Higgs gets swiped out the sky, hanging up for a little too long. Acorn and Bolts fighting for second at this point. If you can't take down Curve and Veno now, it'll just be too late.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the moment right here. As soon as they get into the top 15, I almost think it's a wrap, mathematically impossible.
Bruh.
French drops down low outside of the bubble. I'm not sure he secured enough points before finally going down there. Muzz and Sphinx up above. Reet and Cooper sacrificing the HP, staying outside of the zones. That way they can fizz, they can shockwave, and hopefully get to the front side. But they're just taking so much damage. They don't have the heals to get up to full HP and shield anymore.
Yeah.
Muzz and Sphinx still putting pressure
That's not a
on
good
top.
idea, of course.
Cooper Reed trying to stay alive, seeking Taki, fighting their way towards a qualification, and teams are dropping faster than you can even realize. We're already up into the top 17 now. Curve and Veno are not stopping though. Another team falls to their hands. It's a Minish and Javi. A top 5 performance was valiant for them on the standings coming into this. But it's Curve and Veno who are fighting for the championship win now. And look at this, Jacob. I mean, they are breaking away with a huge lead.
Yep, and even when it looks like it's bleak, Veno gets dropped down to a sliver of HP. They're surviving. Bolt's trying to do the same thing. 5 HP, loses Acorn though, so we need another big solo clutch performance. Almost runs into Curve and Veno all along the way, but he's able to slip past them.
Oh no, Veno down.
Veno find another elimination before Veno finally goes down. Curve is out of builds here, trying to use the shock to splash to keep himself as full of HP as possible. Even finding a fizz to utilize here on the side. Curve, I think, has done enough inside of the top 10. He finds another elimination onto Cooper. Curve might have gone down, but they are your FNCS Major 1 champions.
Yeah.
They've done it. They've done enough to be up at the top, to sit on the throne now. Veno is the conqueror of 2 regions here. And
GG, Veno and Curve.
gets to taste that victory here. But for now, Muzz and Sphinx are trying to find their victory lap. This is all a battle for money. This is all battles for seats at the LAN event where the story will continue.
Jargu needs this. Jargu needs this game here. They were 15th place to start it all, and now he's the only solo left in this game. The two teams that are left alive, Monster, both of them already have their spot secured, so this is everything for Jargu by himself. Tries the shockwave in. He gets tagged up left and right, down in 3rd place. Did he do enough to qualify for Dusseldorf?
Well, it's going to be really close for now, though. The action's on.
Nice.
Buzz here who finds elimination. Ritual gets tagged up big time. Sphinx looking for his moment, and he does it in the end. And that's going to be a nice, wonderful way to end the FNCS there.
That was more than just a wonderful way. Curve and Venom's complete and utter domination of a region. Congratulations for Curve, his first FNCS champion. We always remember our first, and Venom
Curve, the first FNCS winner. Wow.
FNCS title, dominating a whole nother region. Muzz and Sphinx win that game, but Z, Kelly, and Vivid, we have a new champion.
Let's go, Muzz! Let's go, Muzz! That's right, baby. Let's go. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way. Sorry. Anyway, first off, really quickly, MDF, Jacob, thank you guys so much for the cast. Fantastic day.
Oh my god.
As they called out, it is true. Veno and Curve are your champions in NAC. A 4th title for Veno and a 1st for Curve. I mean, Kelly, Vivid, you know, we call Vivid called this out right last game.
Bro, look
They
at
went to the 10th
this.
place. And I think for most
Oh
people,
my.
you probably look at the standings at that
Oh,
point,
that's
you're like,
sad,
Kelly,
bang.
might not get a 4th. They might could end like
I
top
thought
5
at least he
or
was
something.
top
Kelly,
5,
Veno
but
turned it on, and there was just
nah,
game
man.
after game where he's solo clutching, getting
That's
one
fucked
place,
up.
yes, 11 elims, a 2nd place with like 7 elims.
Bruh.
He's just firing on all cylinders, and no one can stop him. No one. And on the back of this carry right now we're looking at Veno and Curve being FNCS champions.
I mean, you're saying no one can stop them, but we saw at the start of this game that a few players did try to stop the run of
They tried.
Curve and Veno. They tried, but they failed because Curve and Veno were prepared. They were aware. Because Veno, he's not just an incredible fragger. He's also incredibly smart and aware when it comes to Fortnite. When it comes to the mindset of other pro players, he has them downloaded. And so he knows what these players are going to do, and he knows exactly how to respond to it. Curve and Veno showing everyone that they deserve this spot. They deserve 1st place. And honestly, just watching them climb up the leaderboard, not necessarily through placements, Vivid, but to get elim after elim, to get so many. I honestly don't even know where they are at the end of the day. I'm excited.
That's why he wasn't crazy in this measure, yeah. True God. Oh my gosh. Is he live or something? Veno or Curve? Like normally they are doing a live stream after, you know. Oh, cool. Oh, he live. Oh my. What the hell?
Highlight this top 5 though as well. Shout outs to Aegis and Ritual, Acorn and Bolts, Cold and Rapid, and Muzz and Sphinx who show up in that last game to sneak their way into that top 5. That's why I'm freaking out. That's why I'm freaking out, Kelly.
And it's so funny too because they've kind of just been like hiding in the shadows a little bit. They haven't necessarily been playing poorly, but
Bro,
it was these last few games where I
look at
started to see their
this.
games just a little bit more. They're staying alive. They're getting eliminations, and they're just playing what they want to play best. They didn't really worry about pop-off games. They didn't worry about making a showing for hype. No, Muzz and Sphinx played what they did best. Whew. Vivid. This is just the top 10 though. We still have a few more teams to look at.
Absolutely, and that'll be the big question, right? Who actually went ahead and clinched up that
100K is
qualification?
crazy,
I mean,
yeah.
Jacob was screaming, he was yelling. Jargo needed that game. He needed that game for sure. Jargo and Carillion, the solo clutch to sneak in to top 13 by just 2 points to knock Seek and Taki out.
Enough, 25.
To go
Oh,
ahead and qualify
not bad, huh?
for Dusseldorf. We could also see up there Cole and
They have
Panic clutch up.
15
They were hanging
kills,
around 10th
so
place throughout the entirety of Grand Finals.
yeah.
It kind of felt like bumped down to 12th, but still qualifying there. And then we got Reet and Cooper, who I think needed that game as well to go ahead and clinch up 372 points. So
Only
they
on
did well.
Facebook.
And
What?
there we have it, Zeke. That rounds up all of the NA teams that are going to be going to Dusseldorf from these Grand Finals.
And that's why you can't give up, right, Viv? That's exactly why in those final moments, you know, just think about it. Being in that situation, it's just you, the last game to make something happen, and Jargu does, right?
Crazy.
And now he's going to keep his FNCS dream alive. He's going to be going to the summit. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic day here in NA. And, you know, I just want to really quickly just double back to Kerr and Venno. I think probably my favorite part of that game, Kelly and Vivid, was the fact that, like, in that last game, immediately Benno sniffed something out. He's like, you know what? This lobby is going to try and hunt me down. They're going to try and stop me from winning right here, right now. And they make a last-second pivot.
I mean, it feels very appropriate that Venno would be able to sniff out Peterbot. I feel like they kind of have the same mindset when it comes into competitive FNCS. But more importantly, I want to talk about the numbers, Vivid, because we already looked at it. But to round things off, almost 50 eliminations just for Venno.
I mean, what was it? After game 10, we took a look at this, and Venno was on 37, Curve was on 31. So it's just still picked up so many eliminations, ended the day on 49. Had to go ahead and show this because just the individual performance. Obviously, Venno.
Venno is
standout
crazy,
player.
huh?
But usually when we see a duo that has so many eliminations, for whatever reason, it's kind of like one-sided. You know what I mean? One person will do is just finding all the eliminations that day, and the other one kind of, you know, is a couple 10, 20 behind, whatever. But Curve is literally like right there next to him. I mean, on the individual leaderboard, first and second place. What an incredible way to win an FNCS.
Well, I will say we have been hearing this discourse, especially when we shifted from trios to duos, that the setup, the makeup of a duo is.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. If you guys watch the live stream, I mean Twitch live stream, you got this. So yeah. Anyway. Before I end the stream, let's go and check the item shop. And yeah, make sure to use my code QTAKS in the item shop. Right here. That's it. And yeah, here. 엄마랑 쓰는 게 아니라네. Okay. I don't like this. I like this one and this. Okay. What else? What else? Oh, these things are back into the shop. God the what the hell? The fuck is that? You. Ah. Okay. There's nothing in the shop, so. It's still, oh, it's still 8-1. And okay, we have solo. Okay, 2 p.m. I need to play this one. I really need to play this one. And solo rank up again. Okay, today and tomorrow. Okay, then we have this. Is a real? Oh, it's a reload cup. I'm not even. This one is locked. And blades. Up. The division. Okay, May 4th. May 4th. FNC's divisional cup start from May 4th. Major 2, right? So before that, do we have any? All right, yeah, there's no any. Oh, we have one rank up here. I need to convince Pi to get into Unreal soon as possible to play this shit. You know. Hey, thank you for joining. And yeah, please like and subscribe into my channel. See you guys in my next live stream, and thank you for joining. Bye bye.